thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Hola, everyone, and welcome to episode 399 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
And of course, everyone knows episode 399 is special. You know why it's special, Tommy? Because it's 2 episodes before episode 401, which is just 1 episode after 400.
Okay, now that you put it that way, now I'm excited.
Yeah, 1 measly episode separates us between us and podcast infamy of 400 straight weeks.
I think that's when Apple just shuts down your feed. They say you've done too many. You're over.
If
you're taking up too much room here.
Recording. Well, actually, I'll stop reminiscing, and now we got to have something to talk about next week, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get all those memories out of the way right now.
Right. So episode 399, going to be a special episode. We got a special guest this week, Big Pete Rubish. We're going to talk about Black Friday drop that's coming up. If you're listening live, it's coming up this week. If you're listening in the future when this comes out, it just dropped. It's actually Cyber Monday right now, and it's part of the week-long Black Friday extravaganza. So we'll get to some of that stuff. We'll decide how much of it we're going to let the live listeners catch early. Talk about that. We'll talk about a giant convention that Tommy and I had the privilege of being the main speakers for. We'll talk about that and a few other things that we're going to hit on this week, supporting our members, some ads. Speaking of ads, speaking of Black Friday, please, if you like Massenomics, you like the Massenomics podcast, help us support some of those companies that have chosen to support us by being sponsors. Black Friday is a big time for them, just like it is for us. It's when a lot of companies like us make their nut for the year. So help us nut. Help all of our
We're like squirrels.
Sponsors.
We just love nuts, right?
Yeah, we love nutting. So make sure to support companies like the Strength Co. Their Black Friday deals are, going to be live from Friday, November 24th to Sunday, November 26th. And you can get free shipping on all bumpers and apparel over that time. So that's a pretty sweet deal, especially the more you buy, the more you save in a scenario like that. And that's not all. You spend $500 on the site, you'll save $50. You spend $1,000 on the site, you'll save $150. You spend $1,500 on the site, you save $250. You spend $1 million on the site, you still just save $250.
Okay,
I think
still a generous amount though.
Yeah. So the sky is the limit in savings at the Strength Co. Check it out. It really is the time of year to be supporting these companies and help them nut.
All right. And this episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes. And a little teaser, but we have a video regarding Bearfoot Shoes coming out very soon. We might touch on that more later in the episode. But the important thing to know is that this episode is brought to you by the Massenomics Barefoot Shoes collaboration, which is the Ursanomics, their first ever splicing of suede and canvas, and of course, their first ever shoe in combination with Massenomics. Combines the strength and durability and comfort of suede leather with lightweight and breathable canvas for a shoe that sits at the top of the food chain. Whether establishing dominance in the squat cage or your favorite watering hole, this sneaker lets everyone know you lift hard and live easy. Now, I don't know totally when timelines hit on all of this, but I'll just throw it out there just in case. Right now on www.barefoot.store, the banner on the top of their website says get 15% off with code Black Friday. That's all one word, code Black Friday. Again, we might be missing it by a day or two, but it's worth checking out. If you are thinking about getting any shoes, we highly encourage you to check out the Ursanomics, the Massenomics collaboration. Very, very limited number of sizes left, so do not wait if you're thinking about buying a pair.
You're probably screwed.
You're probably screwed, but Take
Maybe
a chance. Maybe you'll get lucky. If you are screwed, then pick up the pair of the Bruins. Winter's just around the corner here. You could use a good pair of boots, or maybe you just need a pair of new shoes for the gym or to wear around. So you get the Ursus, the Oso, whatever else is in there that fits your fancy. So one more time, www.barefoot.store, and code Black Friday is going to save you 15%. Thank you, Bearfoot Shoes.
Take a chance, slow dance, make a little romance.
Oh,
That's what I always say.
jeez.
Just came up with that on the spot.
Like a poet over there, Tanner.
Yeah.
You're like a freestyler. They're like Jay-Z over there.
Yeah. We run this town, New York City, stuff like that. We did have a little speaking engagement.
We did.
Massenomics speaking engagement.
Have we
I don't know.
mentioned this at all on the podcast?
Maybe in just very brief passing that we had a very prestigious engagement.
So this was maybe the most prestigious engagement in all of Western Northeast South Dakota on that day in that month. But what was the official name there, Tanner? We don't want to.
I think it was the Northern State University Technology and Entrepreneurship Summit. So it was at the top. We summited the mountain to get to this thing.
We did
on Mount Aberdeen. We were in the JFAC. For those NSU grads out there, you might know the JFAC is the Johnson Fine Arts Center, and we were on the main stage in the JFAC. So and we were part of a podcast panel.
Yes. So we
anchored the podcast panel, if I'm being frank.
We anchored it, lifted it, whatever you want to say. We were the part of it that mattered. But someone from Northern, or I shouldn't say just Northern, they have this Innovation Center or something. Someone from Northern or whatever this place is reached out to us and asked us if we wanted to be part of this panel. They said there'd be other podcasts. Naturally, we were curious if Soccer Made Simple would be there, but sadly, they were
Believe
not.
it or not, Soccer Made Simple and many of those other podcasts that were in the Aberdeen Magazine article did not survive to this. They do not exist.
I think there was only one that was in the article that made it, wasn't there?
Which was Shrink Wrap?
Was Shrink Wrap?
Okay, yeah.
I think they were in the podcast or in that article. I think.
If they existed by then, they probably were.
Yeah, it was long enough ago though that maybe they weren't, so I could be wrong there.
And they were also panelists.
They were. So yeah, there was us and 3 other podcasts. All of them had 2 hosts. So altogether, there was 8 people on stage, along with the moderator, who fielded the questions. We arrived at Northern at about 10:30. We got on stage at 11. They shut it down at 11:45, and that is not enough time to have 8 people on the stage to answer questions.
No, there's probably too many, right?
Yeah, that's too many people to have on stage.
We could have monopolized the full 45 minutes. And
so easy.
Honestly, we definitely monopolized the most amount of time.
Uh-huh.
And there was a lot of questions that we either answered at first, or there was a silence where I feel like maybe the other people were waiting to see what we said.
And there was also several where they go, well, but Massenomics, those guys are the experts, so we should listen to what they say. There was several of them passing the question to us.
And they weren't wrong. We definitely, a lot of those questions, we just, because of our experience, we have a level of
expertise,
relative expertise some of the other ones don't have. Yeah. So that being true, it wasn't. We could have definitely answered questions more deeply and answered a lot more questions, but there was just a little bit limited on time. Overall, there was some good questions in there and some good feedback from all the panelists, I would say.
Yeah. Well, there was. Did we get through 6 to 7 questions maybe in the whole time? It was something like that. There was a part. So the moderator, the host, whatever you want to call him, he did start it off with like 1 or 2 questions right off the bat, and then there was a QR code where anyone in the audience could scan into this QR code, and I'm assuming text in their question. And do you remember what the first?
We did have a few Massenomics listeners in the audience. Too,
yes, there was a few in there. We didn't plant them; they came out on their own will. But do you remember what the first question was right off the bat? That really set the tone.
I can't remember now what the original was.
I believe the one, or was the first one the one for Massenomics, and it was a 2-part one for Massenomics, and then for everyone else that wasn't Massenomics.
Yeah, what was the one for? Oh, it was about Western Northeast South Dakota. Someone hit us with something about that.
Yeah, was it something along the lines of, "Are you the most famous people from Western Northeast South Dakota?" or something along those lines. And then the question for everyone that wasn't Massenomics was, why do you think Massenomics was left out of Aberdeen Magazine's top article? So that did get brought up in front of the whole thing, which was absolutely hilarious.
In front of the auditorium, and all the panelists nervously laughed when that question was asked. And none of them answered. And I guess I spoke out of feeling that, like, in order to maybe cut the awkward tension. I felt like it was. The moderator specifically said this question is for everyone but Massenomics, but I'm pretty sure I was the first to speak I
think you were too. So I believe someone made the comment along the lines of, "Oh, they were too cool, so they were giving everyone else a chance to be featured." But you did probably take I was totally ready in my mind to explain the whole situation to the crowd. In hindsight, I'm glad you did it the way you did it, because I don't know if we needed to go down that rabbit hole of explaining what happened there.
Very funny, and also a little awkward, but very funny. I'm glad it came up. I'm just shocked that the moderator read that question.
I am too. What an odd question to read.
But we will have we vlogged our day a little bit there, so before and after a little. So that'll be coming out on YouTube, maybe like in the week that you're listening to this.
Yeah, probably. Unless something changes and we switch up the video order, because the nature of that day as well, we were able to record 4 YouTube videos. Yeah, we're just animals over here.
Yeah, as far as the YouTube thing goes, that was going great. We were able to knock out 4 videos that day. One of them has already came out. It was the best $100 we spent at the gym video. I thought that video was very fun. Check it out if you haven't. We talked about
we've now figured out our favorite formula is to do essentially vlogging type videos, more conversational, casual. Those are our favorite ones to do. They're the
with
funnest
both of
to
us
do.
on microphone. Usually you running the camera.
I can, because I can still run the camera. We can do that whole thing. We don't have to worry about making everything perfectly polished and cut to perfection. Right. We can keep it more loose and fun, which we do kind of feel like that has turned into our formula.
Yeah. Keith asked about the full video of the panel, and that may be available eventually, but I assume it will be. But as of now, it's not. We actually need that video because we're going to use some of that.
I want that video.
Our video. Yeah. So when we find out, we'll share that along, because we also want that video. Yeah, so we did that video. We did the vlog of this
and I guess
panel.
The other thing we should say too about that presentation is we also didn't know going in where we're going to be talking to 5 people in a tiny little room, where we're going to be talking to 25 people. And it's the giant theater auditorium for a college, so it's a very large room. But I don't know, did you think there was 60 to 100 people there? What was your number? I don't know.
I'm guessing there's probably at least 100, because if I was kind of sectioned it off, and it's just so big.
That's where it gets hard to, no one's in the first 10 rows, and then people are sprinkled all across the
It was probably 100-ish people in there, so I assume a lot of people. I said, a lot of people were getting 5 extra bonus points for their class if they showed up for this, probably, and they have to sign in. So.
And I don't think you were wrong there.
Right. So that was fun.
One other note too, we did have several college kids come up to us and say, "I also do a podcast. Do you have advice or tips for me?" So that was cool that they recognized that we seem to have something going, and they looked at us as the old masters over here.
Yeah, and one guy wanted to know, thought we were guys that knew about AI.
Yes.
And and we had like a 3-minute conversation before we got to the understanding that we are not, because there was also like people there talking about AI. And we were like, we ain't those guys.
Not us. But we'll talk with you if you want to.
We'll talk about AI, like just on a very high level. Like, yes, AI, I agree. AI is interesting. It is changing things. So we do have our Black Friday drop. Do we want to talk about some of that stuff that we've got?
I think we should. It is timely and relevant.
It is, and it's exciting, and it's big. If I could describe this drop in 1 3-letter, 1-syllable word, I would say big. It's a big drop.
You wouldn't pick the word fig. You would pick big.
I would go with big. Fig rhymes with big, so I like that. I would maybe use it if I was to rap about the drop. I would keep fig in my mind if I was going to do a freestyle rap about this drop, a la Jay-Z. I would maybe use that, like something about fig Newtons. I'll flush the rest of that out.
Hang on to that one later as time goes here.
Yeah, but it is big. One of our biggest drops ever. It's right up there with one of our biggest most exciting drops we've ever had. We got a lot of unique items in this. We came to the number that we've got 9 items. And as I'm thinking, before we get all the way into that, do you have a beverage over there at all? Are you thirsty? Or
I do, and I'm very thirsty. I'm glad you said that.
And I'm gonna pop my beverage. What do you got there? Some sort of something?
Raspberry buble.
Oh, not bad. I've got something interesting here. 2 things interesting.
Yeah, I'm really trying to wrap my head around what I'm seeing there.
This is a favorite day cheery cherry lime soda.
Favorite day? What the hell's that?
I guess it's from Target. My wife tells me it's Target. It's a 0-calorie sparkling water, I guess. Favorite day. She said they're really good. Cheery cherry lime soda.
Well,
I don't know. Is Favorite Day like a Target brand, or is that someone
the
that
can
Target's
just looks
carrying?
like something that would be a Target
does.
brand? But
yes.
Okay, when it says soda, is it just a diet soda, or is it a sparkling? Does it fall in the diet soda category or a sparkling water category?
Oof. Number 1 ingredient is carbonated water, then citric acid, natural flavors, black carrot extract, stevia.
Diet.
So this is a diet soda then, actually. That's why it
so.
tastes so strong. Not my usual. I kind of avoid the diet sodas.
But they really trick you by putting it in the skinny, tall can.
They do. I mean, it's very flavorful.
It does.
Yeah,
it does start to make the argument, though, of what really is the difference between a sparkling water and a diet flavored soda of some kind. But
in my mind,
it is that artificial sweeteners.
It's the artificial sweeteners is what I think.
They
in
do
my mind,
but
that's
the
what I,
diet sodas do tend to be so much sweeter, though.
and this is much sweeter. Almost maybe too sweet for when I'm coming to this thinking it's sparkling water, and then I have this. It really packs a wallop.
Just
and
knocks you on your ass.
I know there's a lot of things that artificial sweeteners aren't bad, and it's not calories and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's one of those things
just take a moral stand.
I eat enough. No, I just eat enough stuff, and enough stuff that's probably is questionable. It's just one of the things that I pass on usually.
Yeah.
But this tastes good. I'll give it a 3.5. But yeah, go ahead.
I think raspberry traditionally has fallen as a 3.5 in my book. I don't think it's quite 4 territory.
Okay.
So I believe it's
it's good.
It is
I'd
good.
Be
though.
a fan. Yeah. Did you see what I'm drinking out of here? Speaking of our Black Friday drop, and one of our 9 items, and this is also, as long as we're talking about koozies, you've got our traditional kind of koozie that we make, the foam.
And it's hard to tell on screen. You're holding up our Lift Hard, Live Easy koozie. It looks like it's just a red koozie because on screen you lose a little bit of the color detail, but it actually does have our Massenomics pattern across the entire thing.
Yeah, it's patterned. And on one side, you Lift Hard, Live Easy. This is actually what you'd be getting free with every order while supplies last, too. This Lift Hard, Live Easy koozie along with a sticker pack. That's, like Black Friday through Cyber Monday while supplies last. This koozie is not free because it's so badass. This is, if you're seeing, you can tell what kind of koozie this is. This is one of the thick, old school foam koozies, which I'm pretty pumped about. It's got a little hole in the bottom for aerodynamics, I think. On this side of the koozie, you'll see it's got a new little ditty of ours. It is Strong and Silly. On this side of the koozie,
you got this badass goose.
Original Massenomics Silly Goose that may be appearing more often here. This is another option for another project that we're working on right now, Tommy, too. I'm not saying that this is what we need to go with right now, but there's potential right here as I think about this, our new Silly Goose.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Just a brainstorming session mixed in with this Black Friday advertisement. But this is our new Strong and Silly foam purple koozie. The purple really pops. Why purple, you ask? Because the first 2 colors we tried to get were out of stock.
And they don't tell you until after you order it.
Yeah. I do like the purple.
Yeah.
But it also was our third choice.
What were the first 2? You'll never know.
This should have been, maybe now that I see it, this should have been our first choice, but
maybe it probably
was our
should have
third.
been. Hindsight's 2020.
If you're keeping score at home, that's 2 of the 9 new items that we've got. And if you're keeping score at home, I'm wearing one of the other new items. This is the long sleeve working hard pocket tee.
And if you follow YouTube, you saw it there first.
Yeah, you actually saw that. You've been yelling at your screen. You'd be like, "What are you wearing?" And here it is. It's got our sewn on 4-way sewn Massenomics patch on the pocket. It's a black tee, and it's got Massenomics screen printed down the left sleeve.
Definitely
screen printed tag, of course.
Definitely an item that's very versatile, but it also falls into the going out category. If you need
one of my new favorite items that we've got, if I'm being real. I've worn this a lot of days since I've taken one of these out of inventory.
A lot of days without even taking it off or washing it, I'm assuming, right?
A lot of days without washing it, I'll tell you that much. If I'm not sweating in it and it's not getting dirty, it's not getting... And
it falls almost into coat territory at that point.
Well, my clothes-wearing habits are maybe, I don't know, maybe a lot of people are like this, but I have a wardrobe that I wear to work. So that's my work clothes. And then when I get done, a lot of times I'll change into my other clothes. So that might be from like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Yeah, right. They get warm
I'm wearing it for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I can wear it for 3 hours for like 4 days. And that is just like 1 day's worth of wear.
I used to do the exact same thing when I worked in an office, especially then when we'd go to the gym at night. There's a lot of times you wouldn't even get done. By the time you shower and get home from the gym, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever it is. Like, okay, I wore this short for 2 hours before I went to bed. Yeah, I can wear that again tomorrow night. Do the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, this shirt is not dirty. I wore it for an hour and a half, So yeah, I have worn this a lot. Also, this is also like borderline coat territory. And we know that coats don't have to get washed. Mm-hmm. So once the sleeve gets long, the washing gets less frequent.
The washing gets shorter.
Yes. This is a lengthy cut. Mm-hmm. On this one, a generous, a fairly generous lengthy cut on this, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. What's next? What do we want to do next? We got a lot of stuff.
Do we want to say there was another item that people kind of saw us wearing already in one of our videos?
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about that?
Maybe.
The item with buttons.
Yes, that's the one. And what a perfect time.
Who's got a button?
What a perfect time to get this item as well.
Yeah, if you watch our video we just were talking about of us at the NSU, whatever the hell that thing was that we were just saying we were at, you'll see both of us rocking this. But right here, we've got the new Massenomics polo shirt.
The new work favorite item. Business professionals. Deals are ready to be made in this thing.
So this has the custom woven Massenomics tag in the neck. It's got the embroidered Massenomics on the left chest. And then on the left sleeve, it has the Massenomics, our name across the left sleeve. And this embroidery on this polo is awesome.
The embroidery turned out amazing. We had no idea. We've never done a polo. We don't even embroider our logo that much outside of hats, really. So we never knew how this was going to turn out, and this is one of those that it exceeded our expectations as far as how the quality looked on the finished piece.
Keith said Big Ross is going to sell a lot of cars in this shirt. Yes, this would totally be. I've already worn this shirt to work. This is kind of what I wear to work a lot of times too. So this is right up my alley. Mm-hmm. Although it may open the door for people asking me about Massenomics, which I don't necessarily want at work. So I have to walk that fine line.
It is a very fine line.
Keith also asked about the sizing of the beefy. Do they order the long sleeve working hard tee sized wise like they would the original beefy tee? I don't know if it's quite as beefy as that one or not.
I don't think it's quite as heavy, but I do think size wise it runs pretty similar.
Yeah. Okay. That's good info, good insight. And then on the polo, if you're watching, you can tell this because this has a shine, a shimmer. Mm-hmm. This is a polyester. Is that right? Is this poly?
Yeah, depending on who you talk to, they might say it's more of that dry fit type material, polyester, synthetic.
But this fits fairly generous also.
Yeah. Yeah, you do not need
when
to
I wear a 2X
sizing.
of the
you don't have to size that polo up. I hate to even say this, but
because you don't want
I contemplated sizing down in this thing. You gave me an XL, which is fine, but it's probably even a touch bigger than what I prefer my polos to fit like.
I wear
and you don't got to worry. That's not going to shrink at all. It's polyester. So.
Right. Really nice polo, though. Awesome the way, much like the long sleeve tee, very happy on a new product the way that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it with us. We do have, for the 4th year in a row, we have an Obsidian Ammonia collaboration. Limited edition run, just like every year. Only 100 made of these. And maybe we won't spoil the flavor of that one. Maybe that'll be a surprise. This is the 4th year we've done an Obsidian Ammonia Black Friday special ammonia collaboration.
And you could say that this is the 2nd Obsidian Ammonia special edition of the year, with the first one being at the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic.
Yeah, so this is kind of the 5th Obsidian collaboration that we've done. Now, do you want to see a little surprise on this next item?
Please,
kind of a little surprise on this one. It's a shrunken T-shirt.
Did you leave it in the dryer too long again?
Asked about for many years, and many crew members having children over these last several years. We finally did it. We've got a kids little T-shirt. It is the Massenomics Varsity Kids Tee. It's a black tee with the white Massenomics Varsity logo across the chest. And we have this in, if you're wondering about sizing, it goes pretty small. So even if your kid's like 1, you can probably get away with this because there's 2T, 3T, and 4T. So I would say if your kid's between like 1 and 4,
yeah,
it's probably going to fit them for sure. Maybe 1 and 5 if you stretch it, depending on, so that's your age range that they're going to be able to fit into one of these. 2T, 3T, and 4T if you know about kid sizing.
It's comical.
It's just a tiny little Massenomics shirt.
How little those things are. It looks like a rag, like a little dish rag that someone printed Massenomics on.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop laughing at those when we saw them
maybe
in person.
Maybe if you don't have kids but you have pets, this could be a fun little pet shirt.
Yeah, there you go too.
If you like to dress up your pets.
So that's another one we've knocked off the all-time list of things people have asked for.
Really excited to start brainwashing children now into the Massenomics world. Oh, got 3 things left. One of them is we're bringing back an old design. Maybe should we say what that one is? Or
maybe we'll keep it a surprise. What the vault release is.
Yeah, there is a vault release, a very popular tee design that we've had in the past and have not had for a while.
Asked for many times over the past years, I should say.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that one. Then, should we go coat?
Let's go coat.
This was just coat adjacent. This is straight up coat right here. This is like a steel gray colored coat. Of course, it's got the Massenomics woven tag logo. Drawstring hoodie with the pocket. On the pocket, it's got the 4-way stitch. Massenomics embroidered logo. And then on the left chest, it's got this Massenomics. Is that faded, or what do you call that one?
Distressed, grunge.
Distressed logo with the plate on there. I really like that design. And then on the back, it's a full back print on this one. The distressed logo. Tommy, can you read that even? Because I can't read it.
It's hard to fit it all on the screen, but you have to back it up a little bit. But it does say, weight is a number, heavy is a feeling. So we got a new take on the saying. That's the big text. Weight is a number, heavy is a feeling. We got a big plate on the bottom. And then around the outside of the design, it says legendary goods born in South Dakota, Massenomics.
I really like the way that this coat turned out. This one kind of, we went to the full 9s on this one with the embroidered patch, the front logo, the back logo. It's a sweet coat.
Yeah.
Gym coat, really if you're into gym coats.
Turned out very nice. Same blank as all of the other sweatshirts we've used, and I think those things fit super consistently.
Yes. Absolutely. And then one last thing. Do we show them the last thing?
Yeah, and our guest has arrived too, Tanner.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wrap. I'll show this, and then we'll do that. We'll do... so do you want to kick people off as I show this, or should I show it and then we kick them off?
Maybe I should kick them off right now. Keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
This might be the
This is
most
a new.
important-
This is our new tee design. This is
might
kind
be
of
the most
one.
important piece of the entire thing. I'll start removing them right now.
Okay. Maybe some of them will catch it then, and some of them won't. So you can see this does have our custom tag, custom screen printed tag on it, and then the back of this one is plain. There's nothing
It's a
actually on the
plain
back of this one. And then the front of this one in red and white print, you can see it's our new strong and silly goose tee.
I think
We're
we
pretty
had everyone
excited about
kicked
this
out
one.
the moment that thing
I was
came
kind
on
of
the
watching
screen.
that. Was kind of watching that. Strong and silly, our strong and silly tee with the red goose behind the white distress lettering.
Again,
Should be, I think, an instant classic.
has that vintagey feel to it, but
Yes.
also a strong and silly feel to it.
Yes, and I really like the goose. This is original Tommy D goose art.
It's a goose with an American traditional twist to it.
Twist. Yeah. So I love it. We're excited about that. We can do additional ads and supporting our supporting members after we talk with Big Pete. Then I think, right?
Yeah, should I let him in?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
There he is.
Yes, sir.
All right.
There we go.
Big Pete, how's it going?
Going pretty well. I don't know if you can call me Big Pete anymore, but
Pete, everyone here is big no matter how much weight you've lost. And please tell me that's your washing machine.
yeah, this is the Mark Bell.
Oh, that's the poster. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's got the optical illusion thing going on when it's on the side like that.
Yeah, it actually looks like you're legit sitting right next to the washing machine.
Yeah, it's not the real thing, unfortunately, but it's the best we can do now, so that works.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to get you on. It's we had you on one other time, but it's been a while, and you've had a lot of. It's been a while. It's been a while, but you've had a lot of stuff going on, so we're excited to catch up on everything.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's been like 2.5 years because I looked back. I was kind of curious. It was April of 2021, so obviously there's been a lot of change.
a lot of not many people that we talked to over the course of that time span change as much as you have in that time frame.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm like, am I the first bodybuilder you guys are interviewing, or no? Maybe not.
We have had a couple. I gotta say, you look way different. You know, I mean, I've seen you on Instagram and stuff, and I've obviously already know this, but just even sitting here and talking over Zoom, I'm like, you look way different than what, it just catches me off guard, even though I know to expect that. You just do have just a different overall look to you than you used to. It catches me off guard.
Yeah, no, because I think last time we talked, so it'd been about 6 months that I'd been off testosterone, PEDs, all that stuff, and now, as of November 15th, it's been 3 years. So there's been a big change, obviously a lot of cardio and running and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still trying to hold on to what little strength I have. And I'm still trying to get stronger all the time. Like that never changes, but it's obviously like the visual change.
We should find Tanner. Tanner, do you remember the first Arnold we ever went to? Was it 2016, 2015? Do you remember the year?
Oh, the first time, yeah.
First time ever we just went to go, and we have a picture.
Yeah,
we interviewed you, but there was a picture too of Tanner. I believe you standing with him. That would be hilarious to see that picture now. If we,
yeah, you guys were wearing it was the 3/4 sleeve black and white animal tees. Everyone was wearing them that year.
Yeah, that was 2017.
There we go.
Yeah, yeah. Do you still? You probably got a lot of clothes that don't fit very well anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that's funny. I have all these 2XL t-shirts and such, and I'm just like, this would dwarf me now. It's not even funny. I wear large.
That's what I was going to ask, if you wear large. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to get a whole new, basically wardrobe. But fortunately, I got a sponsor, Barbell Apparel, and they hooked up. It's all I can fit in anymore because all my clothes from back in that time span were 2XL, and it just looks ridiculous now. It looks too baggy. But I do have some unopened animal stuff from long ago. I should give that away or something. People would love that.
Yeah. So what was your heaviest weight and what are you down to now? Are you your lightest right now, or what's the change and where are you at?
Yeah, so I was 262, the heaviest I hit. I remember going into Boss of Bosses one year. I can't remember the exact year. I want to say 2016, 2017, hanging out with Dan Green. Was on a pretty good like D-ball trend cycle. Got up to 262. And then now I'm about 205-ish, 200, depending on the day, anywhere in that range. So, you know, a good 50, 60 pounds down.
Right. And like, 205, it's just funny because it's all relative, because to the average population, you know, a 205-pound dude that's deadlifting in the 600 pounds and stuff like that, that's big and strong. But it's just when you were like 265 in comparison, you look smaller now. But, you know, generally speaking, that's still like big and strong. You know, it just is kind of a funny comparison.
Oh, yeah. And from your typical gym standards, like I still obviously have a decent amount of strength.
Right.
But look at powerlifting now, and I'm like, it's so different. It's growing so much. I don't keep up with it as much as I did when I was like very competitive.
Right.
But the numbers now are almost unfathomable. And a lot of the names I don't recognize, and it's changed so much. It's kind of wild to see this change, to see the numbers of people like Jamal the other day repping 1,000 pounds for 4. And it's just stuff that I can't wrap my head around. It's humbling, but yeah, I've still tried to maintain as much strength as I can. I pulled 615 a couple of weeks ago. Bench is 315. So it's not tremendous, but I'm holding up what I can.
Yeah. So what would you ideally want your body weight to be like? Do you want to lose any more weight, or would you want to just hold where you're at, or what do you want? What do you want it to be? Like, if you could snap your fingers, are you right where you want to be, or do you want to make any more change?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty close. I like being around 200 pounds, and I don't think I could go back to being heavier at this point, because I feel too good at this weight.
Yeah.
As far as the sleep apnea being gone, I sleep the best I ever have. I feel the best I ever have. It just seems like a good, happy medium. I mean, honestly, ideal weight, maybe lose 5 more, get to like 195, just from a speed standpoint for like marathons and such. But I'm pretty much dialed in roughly where I want to be, and just health wise, I feel incredible. So I could never go back to like 220, 240, you know, anywhere in that range.
On the PED side of it, do you have any? Because are you saying for 3 years you've been no PEDs over that 3-year period of time? Do you have any? I feel like maybe it was like around the first time we talked to you, maybe you had made a comment like, oh, maybe at some point in time I would want to do like a TRT dose or something like that. Do you have any ambition to do anything like that at any point in time, or do you like being 100% natty better?
At that time, I wasn't sure how my body was going to come back, so I was toying with that idea at some point. But now I can't see that happening. I feel amazing. I don't feel any negative side effects 3 years later from any of that. My skin's cleared up completely. I feel like my testosterone, I haven't checked it in like 6 months, but it got up to 500 at that point, and everything's functioning good. I feel amazing. If anything, maybe I'd like toy with the idea of like, oh, I want to do Milano tan to get really tan again. But because I'm pale, I can't get that tan. So I'm like, that'd be the one, not really PED, but
right,
sort of sketchy peptide-ish thing that I would do would be Milano tan. But other than that, no, there's nothing that interests me.
So that's really interesting. So you've said several times this is the best you've ever felt. Do you feel like it's one single factor, or is it that combination of running, losing weight, being off drugs? Is it all three of them together, or is there one factor you can contribute it to more than others?
Yeah, honestly, probably the running more so, because I simply wouldn't be this light if it wasn't for that. I eat like a fat kid, more or less. I love food, so I have to run to make up for my eating habits, which I'm not eating like a ton during the day, but in the evening it's like a free for all, and I just pile on ice cream and pizza and chips and queso, and I could just keep going. French toast sticks, and like I love to eat like that. I love to enjoy food. It's my weakness. It's the one vice I have. So I would easily, if I stopped running, I'd balloon up to like 225, 230 pretty quick. So I'd say that makes the biggest difference as far as keeping the blood pressure down, keeping the weight down, keeping the health parameters in check on like blood work. That probably makes the biggest difference, because it's significant mileage too. It's roughly 50 miles a week right now. And without that, I would gain weight quick, even being off PEDs.
Yeah. So do you experience any negatives from running that much? You know, do you have any joint pain or anything new, like a different side effect that you didn't experience from
other wear
heavy
and tear.
lifting? Right.
So far, knock on wood, the knees have been pretty good. I had shin splints for like the first 4 months, and every once in a while I'll feel a little flare up in the tibia from shin splints. Like right now, my tibialis anterior on the right side, right in the front of the shin, is a little achy. So you just get these random like twinges, but they go away super quick. I've kind of learned just run through them. Like whenever you feel something off, you just like straight up run through it, and your body like comes back and it goes away. It's the weirdest thing. It's like the tibia bone. You get these micro fractures when you start running. That's what the shin splints are. You get these micro fractures because your tibias aren't used to that force, and then they heal up and they come back stronger. The bone thickens. So it's just stuff like that. But other than that, running is just, it's challenging. It's rewarding, but it's not fun. That's how I would.
That's a good take on it. Actually, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Is the runner's high real?
I would say so, in the sense that when I'm done, I feel very like it's rewarding. I put in this work, but during it, it's a slog sometimes, and you have to like take it 1 mile at a time, literally. So it's so daunting, these goals and the races I have coming up, like 100-mile races and stuff like that. It's so daunting, the amount of time you have to put in, that I just have to be literally thinking about that day, 1 mile, and then when I get through that mile, the next mile, and that's where I take myself mentally to survive it.
So when you're going on these runs, do you have planned maps, charts of where you're going? Do you hit the same spots every time? Are you changing that up? Are you staying on pavement? Are you going off road? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's mainly you'll find some stretches that you repeat over and over because, okay, you don't have to cross a busy intersection or whatever. So you go on this part. And if it's a faster day, you try to find a slightly flatter course to get the speed work in. So it kind of depends on the day, but I do have pretty much routes that I repeat, and I've got a few different ones, and it's just, you roll with it like that. But it's very monotonous. Running is just like consistency. It's a grind.
Yeah.
Anybody can really, I feel like, almost get very good at running by just putting in work. Like, whereas lifting takes like years and years of putting in work to get to that high level. You can't jump that quick, even with steroids. Running is like, who can put in the most work and be the most disciplined, and that's how you can get really good at it really quickly.
Do you feel like there is a technique component to running?
Not really. Like running, the thing about it, if you start thinking about form and all that, you will throw yourself off to such an extent, and everybody's so different. So running, you almost have to just like go out there, do it, don't think about it at all. Over time, your body will kind of put you in the most efficient position, and you'll get faster. So I learned early on, like, don't even think about form-wise. I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to heel strike. I'm trying to get on the balls of my feet. But other than that, it's not a big intuitive thought thing. It's just, it's a discipline grind. Like, that's what it is.
And that's what when I think, to anyone if anyone's ever participated in sports or high school sports, you probably did a lot of running. I don't really ever remember my life ever thinking about running technique like at all.
I never even remember any, like through football, basketball, track, any of that. I never remember hardly anyone talking about it.
The only time I ever remember technique ever coming up was in track, them like teaching, like, you don't go across your body, you want to be driving forward. That's the only technique thing I ever remember from running, but it seems like it's become popular lately to hit on this running technique of how your feet are going and where your knees are at and all these things. It seems like it's overcomplicating something that should be relatively simple.
I agree. I think the longer you do it, the more time you put in, that stuff works itself out. Like Nick Bayer, he's the guy I kind of look at because he's jacked. He's fast as heck. It's ridiculous. And he's about the same weight as me. He's not thinking about his form. It just falls where it naturally falls. And he's gotten incredibly fast by just grinding away at it for like 4 or 5 years. So it's just a time thing. It's just like you will get faster in time if you put in the work and stay consistent with it. Nobody thinks about form. I don't know. At least in the circles I'm in, like, it's not a thing.
When you're going out on a run, Are you a headphone guy? Do you have something you're listening to, or are you just taking in nature?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm like straight up Goggins. I'm like, there is no music, nothing. Like you are not like never. I don't think I've ran with headphones ever. It's not a thing. You just try to stay focused. It's like a mental thing. You're in your head. You're like, I don't know.
It's kind of like meditation almost then too, you know, because
Yeah.
you're like, I mean, without saying, you know, meditation can mean a lot of different things. You know, not necessarily sitting in a silent room by yourself, but not often in life. A lot of people very often anymore do they just like not listen or watch anything for that
actually
long?
check out.
Right.
No, I totally agree. That's I don't know. I like to be in my own head with my own thoughts and face that stuff. And I don't know.
Yeah. We knew we were going to talk about some running stuff here, so we prepared this little game. What you need to do is we've got these 3 movie running scenes. And
Okay.
I just want you to tell us what your favorite, you can rank the 3 movie running scenes from best to worst. So first we've got Forrest Gump running across the country.
Okay.
Then we've got Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, running from the boulder so he doesn't get crushed. And then
Okay.
we've got Rocky running up the steps in Philadelphia, right? I think that's where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay. If I had to rank those as far as what I thought was the best one, I got to go with Forrest Gump because that's just like mindless across the country running, which relates to me in the sense of like ultra running and ultra running, you know, these extreme distances. It's like a suffer fest. You just got to keep going. So that one seems more relatable. And then probably the Rocky one would be number 2 because, you know, running stairs, that's not fun at all. That sucks. So that's very relatable in the sense of like, oh, running hills. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes going up mountains and running up mountains and such like. So that one I would go number 2. And then Indiana Jones, that's more of like a sprinter scene. He's just trying to get out of there quick. So I'm not the fastest guy as far as that goes, like sprinting, but
I think that's a very good analysis of those 3. That's great.
breakdown.
Yeah. When you were at your biggest, heaviest, strongest, is there any lift or achievement you didn't get to when you're at that point that in hindsight you really wish you would have? Like some, I don't know if it's some milestone lift that you were just on the cusp of and didn't quite get it. Was there anything like that, or do you not really think or care about it like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at peace with things now, but at the same time, obviously the 900-pound deadlift in a competition, that was kind of the thing I was really pushing for towards the end. And the last major meet I did on PEDs, that was what I went for. And I got it to like my knees. So that one kind of that one hurts a little bit to not have knocked that out in competition. 882 even, that's 400 kilos. That one I had locked out like 3 or 4 times in competition and I like dropped it at the top. So that one hurts too. But other than those, I mean, I was close to like an 800-pound squat, but that doesn't bother me. Bench, no, I mean, that was okay. So it's really the deadlift, the 2 deadlifts as far as 400 kilos and then the 900. I would have liked to get those done in competition, but I wouldn't say it like bothers me too much. It was, I was going to take one more crack at it actually, because that last meet I did on stuff was in November. And I was going to take one more crack at it in like April. I was going to do a spring meet. And then my wife was like, listen, if you want to have a kid, we should get this done now. So I was like, all right, fair enough. And so then I came off, but I was actually going to come off after that April meet. I was going to push it like 6 more months, run some crazy cycle and try to get it. So
there's always one more though. Like you would have got to that point and then they're like, well, there is this big meet and it's in October and I just got to make it to October then, you know?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It probably was going to end up like that. So you got to call it at some point where you're like, all right, I'll back off on this stuff and come off. But yeah, that was about it. That's the only thing that I would say I think about, but it doesn't bother me too much.
You don't wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and be like, 900, you know?
No, and I think too, like powerlifting has gotten so crazy now where I'm like, all right, 900 is kind of, it's whatever. But
Which is kind of crazy
different era.
that that's the thought that it's like, just 900 pounds, like no big deal.
I think we've all seen too much of like Hack and Browner where we're just like, all right, I don't understand it anymore. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yes.
None of these numbers make sense to me anymore.
Would you have done anything different in hindsight? You said you're very happy, healthy, the best you've ever felt now. Maybe if you did something different, you wouldn't be in the space that you're at now. Or do you think you would have done anything if you went back in time? Would you have done the process different in any way? It's really hard question to answer, but
I think things work out, but I would have like ran things more responsibly, ramped up slower. So I'm not going like to trend within the first 6 months because it sounds cool and it sounds like the craziest. So I would have done things more methodically like Hack did. I would have, I wish I had tried at some point like Masteron. I never got to try that one. Never got to try Prima Bowl, and that's another one I kind of like I wonder what that was like. Because these are milder, but I wish I had tried both of those just to see. I never gave them a fair shot. I wish I had tried. It probably isn't the direction you thought we were going here, but
that's good. This is even better. Yeah, that's great.
Like the drugs I wish I had tried. No.
Right.
I wish I had tried Anavar sooner too, because Anavar was the bomb. I found it towards the end, and I was like blown away at how awesome it was. So that's one I wish I'd stacked with Trend back in the day, but that never happened. No, but I mean, I'm okay with it all, but
yeah.
I definitely think there were some things that would have been interesting too. But I'm glad I never like tried insulin and GH. I really don't think there was any need for that in terms of the powerlifting side of things. It's like more bodybuilding-esque. But I don't. I think I could have trained more responsibly as well. I think a lot of it was just the young immaturity of just like, all right, we're gonna go pedal to the metal with training and supplementation. So there's definitely a more responsible way I could have went down that road. But
talking about some of that stuff, I mean, obviously, you've maybe even done videos or talked about it, but do you follow Sam Sulik at all? Watch any of his stuff and take any of that in?
I haven't really watched his stuff, but obviously I've heard about him. He's blowing up. And I think a lot of it is relatable in the sense that's kind of how I felt like I was in the early years, just as like a teenager. I'm just like at my apartment, talking to the camera, eating food on a smaller scale. So I definitely relate to where that type of video resonates with a lot of people and a lot of these younger guys. It's just the dude's like super relatable as far as that. He's just a guy chilling who likes to lift weights and get huge and all that. So that's why I think he's blown up in the way that he has. But I don't keep up with it. I don't keep up with too many guys anymore.
To be fair, it's hard to keep up when he has an hour-long video every single day, though.
Right.
There you go.
It's a lot of content.
Well, I remember those days, like being, I don't know how old he is, but I was, being 20, 21.
I think he's like that old. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
You just chill and like eat. And your life is literally like, what am I going to eat at this next meal? I'm going to go to the gym for 5 hours. And I somewhat miss the simplicity
right.
that lifestyle of just like, I'm going to go to the gym for hours on end and eat. And then I'm going to watch TV till 1 a.m. And like, it was just so, I lived it like that. I get it. So the simplicity of that, I hope he doesn't take it for granted because it's a great time. Like that's a great time in his life. He's going to look back and be like, man, I had it so good. That was easy.
Right. Right.
But as you get older, responsibilities, family, all that, you can't do that. You can't train for 5 hours and just hang out. And it's
well,
nice.
You can. You just won't have a family anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Your family will all be gone and everyone, you'll have nobody to turn to. But, it's a good phase. I enjoyed it. I really did. Yeah. I really enjoyed that time. It is like anyone that lifts long, that if you start lifting at that point, you go through that phase and it is awesome.
Like you would never want to go back to you wouldn't want to trade what you have for that, but in it's fun to think about how it is like an enjoyable time.
And answering the question, it's such a test for how old someone is, because when someone's younger, they're like, oh, it's so badass what he's doing. He's living the life doing this. And then once you're like on the other side of 30, you're just like, oh, those were the days, man. I remember that. So you have your different perspectives on it.
Oh yeah, it's wild. I can't imagine now, but because I'm 32 now and looking back at that time a decade ago, even, man, it was wild. Like when I was, and especially when I was even living like almost, even though it wasn't really a thing, but it kind of was, the professional power lifter type of lifestyle. It was very much like that, and it was super chill. It was fun, but things evolve, so we move on to, and I still at the core, like powerlifting is my passion. Lifting is way more fun than running. I still like training for strength more than anything. But it's like 3 days a week of lifting. It's quicker sessions. Like, let's get this done. I'll often be working in between sets. Like that's how I do it. Just trying to be as time efficient as possible, and more bodybuilding work now, more isolation movements. But at the core, I'm still like, yeah, powerlifting, lifting for strength. That's the best thing ever. That's what I love. So the passion for it doesn't go away, but you have to optimize things differently.
Do you have any specific, I've maybe seen you mention some things, but any short-term or long-term like running / lifting goals where you want to hit this time in this distance and also be able to do X in the gym?
Yeah, I'd love to pull around like 650. I think I'm really close right now. And bench, as long as bench is around 315. I want to get 325. I think I'm right on the cusp of that as well. So those are kind of the lifts. I really don't care all that much about squat anymore. It's just not very enjoyable. And I've actually seen that deadlift helps a lot more with speed for running than squats. I've noticed that. So 650 deadlift, 325 bench. Those are kind of some solid numbers for me at 200 pounds. And then like I got 16 and a half weeks till a marathon. It's crazy. I'm going to try to go sub 3 hours, which I know is like insanely ambitious. I know people are like, look at that and be like, that's not going to happen, but you got to aim high. I'm going to go for it. That's like a 652 mile for 26 miles. Wow. And then I got the 100 miler. That's in June. So that's 6.5-ish months away, June 14th in Wyoming. So that's 100 miles in the mountains. And that's like, that's why I started doing all this. That was the goal. It was a bucket list thing. So
do you think, are you able to do that and run the whole 100 miles, or like, do you like, okay.
There's plenty of walking.
Right.
I mean, what percentage are we talking walking versus running on something like that?
For most people, I'd say 50-50 for most people. But I think for someone at a higher level, which I honestly feel like I'll be at, I mean, I just did a half marathon. I was in like the top 93rd percentile. So I'm training very hard. Like, I think I will be at a fairly high level even for that. I think it would be closer to maybe 75% running, 25 walking, because you're going through stretches where it's extreme elevation gains. This one, like the first 10 miles, it's like 4,000 feet of gain, which is a staggering amount. So you're going to have to hike a lot of that. So there's a fair bit. I think there's only been like a couple people who actually have like ran the whole thing, and they were like the elite level top athletes that I've heard about. Like Matt Carpenter was one of them. And then for a marathon, you're running the whole thing. Like there's no walking. That's different ball game. So in some regards, like a top marathon runner is in way better shape than like a top ultra runner, because it's a different thing. It's like honestly, a 3-hour marathon in some ways is harder than the 100 miler. Like the 100 miler is harder mentally, but you're going slow. You can take breaks, you're walking. Like you have 35 hours to do it, even though it's a very tough course in the mountains. But a marathon, you're going like redlining, max speed for 26 miles, no walking. Like that's hard. You have to be in incredible shape. Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
So
go ahead.
No, it's just a difference. One of them, redlining, 26 miles, all out, no breaks. One of them, you're like leisurely pace.
Well, it's just on a much different scale. It's like comparing if you run in track with like the 400 versus the mile. You know, there's definitely a balls out 400 is going to leave. You know, it should be a sprint for almost a minute or whatever it's going to be, which makes you have one feeling, and whereas 800 or a mile feels a little bit different, and it makes sense to even take that farther. You know, a marathon at that level, it's still endurance, but like under sub 7-minute miles, like you're still running fast the entire time. You know, you like it's not a slow race for higher level competitors. And where 100 miles, like you get to a point where it just has to be, like you just can't. Nobody can sustain that for that long.
Yeah, 100 milers. If you're 24 or under, like that's elite. Like sub 24 hours, they give you 35. So it kind of shows you the different range. But it's such a mental grind. And now I'd have to get back to you when I've done both of these events coming up. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I've heard Goggins talk about like SEALs that he knows have said like they've done similar level 100 milers like Leadville in Colorado, and it was tougher than Hell Week. So it's hard to say. It's just, I don't think you can underestimate the training for either, which is what I'm trying not to do. I'm trying to be like very serious about the preparation.
If you were 20 miles into an awesome marathon time and you really have to take a crap and you're crushing your time, what's the strategy? Do you just let it go, or what do you're 80% done with this thing and you're like on awesome pace, like you're pie in the sky pace dream right there?
You know what okay, so the crazy thing is, I always have caffeine. I have like an energy drink before I run. You're good to go. Like you'll clear out easy before the run. I've ran 1,270 miles since February, and I've never had that problem because you're cleared out before the run with the caffeine. The caffeine, I think if you don't do the caffeine, you're gambling. But like if you have caffeine pre-run, even an hour beforehand, you'll be good to go. Like you'll be ready to roll. Now, I think the bigger question would be if you had to pee.
Yeah.
You might have to pee. That's legit. Like there's nothing you can do about that. Like you can prevent almost the issue you were talking about, but you very well could be 20 miles in. You're like, man, I got to pee. That's going to kill 30 seconds. So then you have the debate. I know guys who are like super fast, like 245, and they're like, I just don't pee during the race. I'm going to freaking hold it. I'm not stopping. Hell no. So that's the debate.
So what would you do you think?
I'd hold it. I'm rolling.
Yeah. Would you piss your pants if it was necessary? If there was no other choice, would you piss?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I probably wouldn't go that far. I'd be like,
I think I would consider pissing my pants if it I'm gonna be drenched in sweat. Yeah. Like it's gonna be like right. Like
now, the unspoken thing is, have you ever thought about this? No one talks about this in these 100-mile races. What are you doing bathroom wise? No one talks about it.
Is everyone just crap on the side of the trail then, or what?
I think so. No, I'm pretty sure. Like they go off in the woods because it's kind of like it's like a don't ask, don't tell.
Right.
You got to take care of business. You're in the middle of the mountains. Maybe kind of cover it up a little bit. Like I think that is a thing because you're not always going to be at a point where you're by a freaking porta potty. Like it's not that easy. You're in the middle of nowhere. So
those extreme conditions, your body might be doing something weird too.
That's what I mean. You got all these issues. So no one really talks about this, but I have read, because it's a question. You're like, what do I do? Most people on the 100 milers and stuff, they pack some TP and they just got to be ready. You got to be ready. I'm serious. This is crazy. No one talks about it.
Yeah, I never thought about that part of it.
Like you're in the mountains. What do you do? There's not like you can go to you can't just roll off the side and find a bathroom.
Yeah. Do you have any new top tier freaking delicious food recommendations? Anything that's really triggered you lately that's a go-to?
You know what's crazy, guys? I prefer frozen pizza way over takeout. Like I love all frozen pizzas way more than anywhere I could get pizza. And that's just weird. People don't seem to think, they don't agree with that. Now, I really do like, I've talked about it, the Motor City Pizza Company.
Okay. I was trying to remember what the one was.
Yeah.
Because I see those at Costco. I have to get those sometime. I see those there. I still have not had one yet.
That one's legit. That one's my favorite. I like all frozen pizza. I really like frozen pizza just way more.
Do you like Totino's frozen pizza? They used to be like 99 cents and they're like barely pizza.
Yeah, they're so thin. They're all right. It is not the greatest, but I'll eat any frozen pizza. But that would definitely not be up on the top.
What's on your top for the budget frozen pizza? What makes the top of your list there?
Yeah, see, that's a good question. Kroger's got some nice ones. They've got some nice ones like the Kroger brand. There's like a white chicken pizza. That one's really good. Red Barons are kind of thin. Those are pretty cheap. You can go good with those, the 4 or 5 cheese ones. That's what I'm going to have right after this. And you got to dip crust and ranch. That's the other key.
Oh, you ranch it up?
Midwest hack.
Ranch it up.
Wisconsin hack. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Let's see what the Kroger French toast sticks are pretty delicious. They're much better than the Walmart French toast sticks. Much better. The highest quality French toast sticks you're going to find at the grocery store, the Kroger brand.
Okay, when you're having French toast sticks, do you just eat them plain, or are you putting anything on them?
You don't even need syrup. They're delicious. You just microwave them 30 seconds, good to go. Because I don't have the patience when I'm too hungry. So I don't even do syrup there. You don't need it. Let's see the queso from Kroger with the tortilla chips, the lime. That's pretty good. That's a go-to meal every week. I indulge about twice a week in the Simply lemonades. Those are really good. The blueberry is a go-to. Let's see what else we got. I mean, I love some food, guys. I love some food.
How about this? These are all like not chips, but they're all crunchy snack adjacent. They're like kind of chippy foods, but not chips. And I want to see which of these you think is the best between Cheetos, Bugles, and Funyuns. Which of those is the best? Salty, crunchy, not chip.
I still gotta go Cheetos, the OGs. I like them. Not to say the other ones are bad, but I would go Cheetos out of those. I do. The Cheetos popcorn is amazing. Now I got to give a shout out to your area, similar, close. The Dots pretzels are freaking amazing.
Yeah, Dots pretzels. Yeah.
Do you guys have the one they got, the seasonal one right now, the cinnamon and sugar one?
Oh, I've never even seen those.
That one is the bomb. And then they got the cheese curls, which are amazing. Those are way better than Cheetos even. Cheese curls, Dots pretzels, cheese curls are way better than Cheetos. Like people don't even 100 times better. But I
always like the pretzel ones that have like the peanut butter on the inside. Like I could eat a pallet of those probably.
What is that, Dots, or is that something?
I don't know if Dots makes them.
Kind of like a combo type thing almost.
Right. It's almost like a combo with peanut butter inside. Yeah, it's kind of like a combo.
See, combos are what I grab whenever I'm on a long drive and I'm at a gas station and I'm like, I'm starving. I'm going to get these combos. And then I feel kind of crappy afterward.
Yeah.
But
like
that's
pizza
gas
combos.
Food.
That is, I don't even know if, like, I know you probably can, but I don't think anyone in the history of the world has ever bought combos at a grocery store. No. You just buy combos at a gas station is the only time you buy combos.
Dude, that's so true, though. I've never thought of that, but that's true. I never have combos unless it's like a minimum 2-3 hour drive.
Well, do they even make combos in a full-size chip bag? Is that even a thing?
I don't know.
Think about it. You don't see them at Walmart.
I've never
could
seen
you
that.
imagine just digging your hand into a whole like pile of combos like that?
It'd be just off-putting how much combos are there.
I think combos kind of smell bad too. Yeah. I'm not sure if those are actually. I don't know what's that is
paste
inside
material
of the combo.
On the inside.
Right. That's like Oreos. They're not that great, but I can't stop eating them.
I've totally changed my opinion on Oreos in like the last 3 to 4 years. I used to think, nah, these things suck, and something changed. I love Oreos now.
I do think what you say is right, though, Pete. They kind of, like, you look at it and you think about it, it's like, this sucks, but then you're eating like, this is pretty good. Like there's just...
Exactly.
I wonder, though, if it's one of those things where they're sweet, but they're not so overly sweet, where, where you get that fix and you're like, okay, yeah, that's enough sweetness where, like, you can hammer some Oreos and keep going.
Well, it's weird because I just walk by them and I'll grab like 2, and I notice I do this like 7 times a day, and then I've had 15, and I'm like, they're doing something to these to put like crack in them or something. I don't understand. It's like an addiction. I'm just like,
they got that team of engineers crafting up the food perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's not real food, but it's still like, I'm subconsciously just grabbing these things. Like I'm not like, I don't even like them that much. I'm like, what am I doing? And I keep buying them. It's a weird thing. It's like a drug.
It
So
is.
I think that might be like the drug they're giving us or something. I don't know. Oreos.
Yeah. What would be your go-to Oreo? You know, they make a lot of different variations,
Flavors and levels of
thickness,
filling.
and
Okay, straight up, it's either going to be the Christmas time white fudge covered ones but they come in a tiny box, which is annoying because you're not actually getting that much. They're those like white fudge covered ones. And then I like the mega stuff because you just get the insane amount of cream in the middle. Like I like those.
we maybe talked about it before, Tommy, but the Keebler Elves fudge cookies, where it's like the little it looks like a little elf. It's
Those are kind of a classic,
like tan.
too.
Yeah, the cookie is tan and the inside is chocolate fudge. Also not food, but they taste good.
Well, most of this stuff is not real food, but you know what? It's still good. It's delicious. Like that, and that's why
freaking delicious.
Like if I'm gonna subject myself to the difficulties and torture of running, I'm gonna eat this stuff. I don't care. No one, like I gave up steroids. I'm not giving up this stuff. Like that's where I draw the line. It's like macaroni and cheese. I have macaroni and cheese three times a week.
Okay, so all right, so macaroni and cheese. What's your go-to there?
I have been lately on a kick with the Kraft 3-cheese shells version.
With their version,
so you're saying
is
box
the cheese
that you boil?
With their version, is the cheese though? Is it the like gooey cheese, or you mix in milk and?
I do my own because I add my own cheese extra, and I do a lot of butter, and then it comes out like insanely cheesy. I have done the goo stuff before in the box, the like special one,
like
deluxe.
the Velveeta shells and cheese.
Yeah, but every brand has that now. Like there's a Cracker Barrel version, there's a Kraft. I've tried them; those are pretty good. Which you get this like it's like a Velveeta, just like you said, kind of gooey cheese. But I still like the classic, boil it in the water in the box and then add your own cheese.
It's good.
That's amazing.
For me, my favorite noodle, it's the spirals. Something about those
spirals
noodles
are good.
Dude, I'd pick spiral noodles over the elbow macaroni any day of the week. Spirals is where it's at.
I got spirals today at the grocery store.
There's like, and you can buy the cheapest brand, whatever grocery store you go to, whatever their house brand is. They're like 70 cents for the box. Those are the best one. I think those are the best macaroni.
I agree. I got spirals today. I got a spirals. I got a 3-cheese. I got a couple. But
you know where they screw you is the ones that are shaped like cartoon characters. Like we buy those for our kids sometimes. And just because I'm like, oh, they'll like this, they'll eat it. You know, it looks like Dora the Explorer or whatever the hell it is. But there is so much less food in one of those boxes.
It's that licensing fee they got to cover.
I'm like, there is like nothing in here. Like this is not even close to it. Like if I was to eat this whole box, I'd be like, I am starving. Like that was not enough food in there.
It's weird that they taste different between like the shapes and the spirals and the regular. I don't understand why it's such a different taste. Like they all have a different taste.
They do.
So, I don't know. The other thing too lately, Texas toast. I've been big on that.
Did you buy it in the box with like
the yellow box
6 pieces in it or whatever?
Yeah, straight up yellow box. That's what.
Yeah, that yellow box Texas toast. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but we get that.
Brand is, but
the yellow box.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's called New York. It's got the 5 cheese. Oh my gosh, that stuff is freaking incredible. I don't have the patience to like cook this stuff in the oven. Microwave. Let's do it.
I had to look because I'm like, there's no way that box says New York on it. It does. I've never in my life realized
I just know that it's yellow. That box and like the shape that it is. Yeah.
Dude, that stuff is the best Texas toast stuff.
New York
It's got like the butter dripping off.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
This is what I eat every week. It's terrible. I know. I'm sorry, but it's just so good.
Oh, what about what do you think of this is a lower tier, I think, but it's like you go to the refrigerated section at the grocery store and it's like the Bob Evans, like the brick of macaroni. It comes in like it's got like a cardboard sleeve around it and you pull it out and it's the black, almost like TV dinner of like this dense thing you put in the microwave for like 17 minutes and stir it and put it in for like 5 more minutes. You're like, how could this be in the microwave for like half an hour? And you pull it out. Like, what do you think of that in comparison to the other style?
See, that one you're not getting as much bang for your buck. So I don't often. I've tried it. It's good. It's delicious, but it just bang for your buck wise, it's not enough.
Right.
Like it's the same kind of premise where I have that and I'm like, I'm still hungry. So I don't do too much of those. But I have tried it, of course. I've tried all this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, yeah. I still think just the straight up box that you boil, that's the way to go because you can add your own cheese. You can add all the cheese.
Yeah.
You can cut off a huge block, melt that.
And it still
And then
tastes
you got
fresher no
double
matter
cheese.
what.
Yeah, it doesn't have the sketchy uh yeah, like I've had the deluxe versions with the Velveeta type cheese, but it's
Yeah.
still sketchy. I don't eat much protein, guys, to be honest.
You know the Kraft one, you boil, you add the butter, the milk, and the cheese stuff, and I found, not that I'm trying to make this healthy, because it's not like, it's the opposite of healthy food to begin with, but like the butter, the amount of butter they tell you to use, you can use like a fourth of that, and it kind of is the same still.
Yeah.
Like like the butter, that's where I'm like, you don't need near as much butter as what they say to put in there.
No,
Not
but
that
it's
it's
America.
health food. Yeah, right.
You got to take all the calories you can get.
I thought this was America.
The one healthy food I really like, but it takes a lot of work, is a pomegranate. Because you gotta like peel it and get all the seeds out, but that's delicious. I love pomegranates. That's been a go-to lately because they kind of come out in winter. That's been I seriously probably get about 100 grams of protein a day because I eat beef and rice, but I'm not one of these guys who's like, oh, I gotta have 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight or
Right.
whatever. I just don't. It's too much. I don't know.
Were you of the same mindset when you were 260, 250, or what? Or are you just eating more in general, I suppose, or?
I did try to eat more protein back then. But it was coming from like I drink, half
Protein
a
shakes.
gallon of chocolate milk.
Yeah.
I was more like chocolate milk, and I would eat a pound of beef with the rice-a-roni, a lot of ice cream. That was pretty much the diet. It's like ice cream, chocolate milk, beef with rice-a-roni, the 4 cheese, of course, and that was it. That was the diet. That was the diet for like my whole 20s.
Yeah. Did you see the cage is coming back to the Arnold in 2024? The animal cage is back.
That blows my mind. It felt like it disappeared. The Arnold itself almost felt like it disappeared. So I'm kind of amazed.
Yeah.
Just
It literally disappeared for a year, and then it's been a slow climb back to what it was like in like that 2015 to 2020 or 2015 to 2019 timeframe, because it got ridiculous there for a while where it was just insane. Like it was too
It
big,
actually felt like it was
probably.
the most popular thing in the world when you'd go. You'd think there's no way anyone could like something more than this, the number of people.
Right.
yeah, it was huge. Is Animal gonna do it still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
the animal cage this year. Yeah.
Because I thought they got rid of like most of their roster of powerlifters.
That's-
Like I think they only have Dan Green and
I think you're right.
So we've talked about who even is on that list. Like no one that was on that list in 2017. Basically,
I guess
comes back.
it just won't be animal athletes, and they'll just get, I suppose they'll just recruit anyone that they can try and recruit and throw an animal shirt on them for that day. And maybe they just don't care. Maybe they don't feel like it needs to be Dan Green, Pete Rubish, and James Strickland, and like the quote unquote animal lifters. Maybe they just think, no, we'll just get Jamal Browner and Julius Maddox in here and John Hack, and we'll get them to wear an animal shirt, and that's.
yeah. I mean, they did that a little bit before. They would kind of just get guys in for the week. Is it still in Columbus as well?
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I'm so out of the loop. Like it feels like the Arnold days were a million years ago. I don't think I've been to the Arnold in 4 to 5 years, 4 years.
Maybe they're gonna throw a treadmill in the cage and have you do a little run deadlift. Sign me up.
I'd love to see that. Just like a free form runner tucked into the corner.
Yeah. You'll just be running during the entire session.
I could do it with the altitude trainer. I got this Hypoxico. They hooked me up. It's like this crazy elaborate. Not those you remember the mask people just put on? Not like that. It's like a legit altitude trainer. That'd be intense. You'd run on that and then deadlift.
It'd just be you start running. You'll do an ultra marathon inside the cage. You'll just start running on Friday and don't quit until Sunday when they're tearing the whole thing down. That'd be your.
That'd be epic. No, the treadmill's really boring. No, that's
Okay. Did you get a different YouTube channel? What did you have going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think it was the 4-year period I barely posted, and I think the algorithm kind of like killed the channel in the sense it felt like it stagnated. It wasn't growing at all. So I almost just was like, I'm gonna bite the bullet and just start fresh. Because the view count was not in line with the actual subscriber count. So I just like it didn't make sense. The channel was dead. And then I just started doing like either just talk about whatever I feel like offending people and stuff. No, I would kind of talk more openly on that other channel, and then this one, I'm just like the new one is fitness oriented, trying to be more professional and straightforward. So I don't know.
So is the other one done, or will they both exist?
I just post random things on there where I'm like, oh, this is what I feel like talking about. So that one's more just whatever I feel like, no editing, just whatever. But the other one, the new one, I'm trying to put like actually grow and slowly make it fitness oriented, lifting and running wise, kind of a split of both.
Do you feel like the YouTube world is completely different now than it was, say, 7-8 years ago, or do you feel like there's still a lot of similarity?
Completely different. It's back then you could get away with like not even trying thumbnail wise, not even no editing, and now it's like that's what the game is. So I don't know, it's different. It's like the new one is more professional, business oriented, trying to do things right from the get go, and I'm just kind of like whatever on the other one at this point. So it looks less impressive number wise, but it's got more potential long term for growth. Because the other thing, I never did it right from the beginning, so it just was kind of like me talking, and then when I stopped posting for a while, it kind of just died off. And I try to get it back, and I realized it's like the algorithm is tanked it. There's no growing this.
Right. Okay. All right, we've got this game. We played this one with you back 2-3 years ago. We play with every guest that's overrated, underrated. And we've got a special round 2 Pete Rubish set of over-under topics. It's just your job to decide if each one's overrated or underrated. You just can't ride the line. You got to decide on each one definitively. So first one, overrated or underrated, deadlifting with a squat bar.
Overrated. I don't think it's that. So I don't think it helps that much anymore. Okay. I dabbled in that for a while. I don't think it makes a huge difference.
So when you were originally doing it, what were some of your thoughts behind taking that approach?
Just cut out all possible slack to where when I go back to like a deadlift bar, it would feel like it just springs off the floor. But it really doesn't give as much carryover as you think. Like you might get a little boost, but it's so minuscule. It's almost like not even worth it.
So on that same topic, then, do you feel like deadlift bars in general are overrated too?
I think they're underrated in the sense that they're really not that much easier than a stiff bar. So I'm like, why don't we just all pull on one? Because it's not, I don't know. I've never done the kabuki one, but I'm like, it doesn't give you that much more than a stiff bar, really. And then we could get into the whole argument. Maybe for sumo, it's a different technique, but I don't know about that. For conventional, it really doesn't give you that much more going from a stiff bar to a deadlift bar. So I think they're underrated in the sense of just like, it doesn't matter.
With your new goals and training and stuff, are you still implementing the 45-degree back raise weighted, with your barbell 45-degree? Do you do those still?
Not recently, because it's like I have to pick and choose time efficiency wise. So 3 days a week, 1 day of lower, and the lower body day is just like deadlifts, split squats, and then I throw in pull downs for lats. That's it. Because I'm hitting my low back so much from the deadlifts that I look at it like that can kind of go. If I wasn't running, I would definitely be doing it. But I have to be a little more selective with the running because it just gets to be too much time-wise and too much on the body.
Okay. Overrated or underrated? Still not exactly sure how you say the name of it, but it's your shoes, Saucony shoes, or is that how you say it?
Yep. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, Saucony shoes, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. They're the only brand I've gone with since I started running. I love them. I have all the shoes I've worn from them. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to switch because these feel amazing. And the ones I wore for the half marathon, they felt really fast. They were good. So I saved them for that. Great shoes.
So you do have, is it, when it comes to big races like that half marathon or a marathon, there is a specific shoe you wear just on that day?
Yeah, like I break them out maybe if I'm trying like a 5K PR in training or a 10K, but I've worn those shoes like twice. That was it. Half marathon and a 10K PR I did in training.
So when you put shoes like that on, do you feel faster in them?
Yeah, I feel it makes probably 10, 15 seconds per mile difference.
Oh.
I feel.
Yeah. Okay. And is that the way, is it the lightness of them or the way your gait changes, like your stride? What are they doing?
It's almost like they're designed in a way to give you more spring off the ground. Nike came out with the first version of these, and then other brands have kind of gone a similar route. So each brand kind of has their own style of them now, and they're really expensive shoes. All of them are like $300,
Mm-hmm.
And they don't last that long. So you can't wear them all the time because they only last. Whereas a normal running shoe, you could get 500, 600 miles out of. These last like 150, 200 tops. So it's something you just save for like those all-out efforts when you want that extra boost.
Yeah. So okay, so the 500, 600 mile thing, how many miles do you get in a month right now?
It is about 200.
Okay, so do you watch that pretty close? Are you buying new shoes every 2-3 months?
Yeah, because I can kind of tell too. You start to feel more, your joints feel it more and all that.
Okay.
Like, you can see the bottom of them's getting all like ripped off, and you can tell.
Okay,
it's
so
pretty
that was gonna be my next question. Like, can you actually tell, or do you just follow this guideline? But yeah, it sounds
yeah. The last pair, I had like a hole come out of the side. I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like you can really see the wear, and you're like, okay. I push it as long as I can, to be honest, but it gets to a point where it's like it's not even, it's not safe. It's not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Okay. Overrated or underrated Ron Dane?
I mean, I feel like overrated because he was before my time at Wisconsin. I didn't really see him, and when he got to the NFL, he was much slower than everyone, and they just destroyed him because he never had speed. He got by in college because he was just so big. But when he actually faced NFL level caliber competition, he was way too slow, and he was not good at all in the pros. So and it's not fair because I didn't really see him, but I would say overrated.
I think now we talked about it earlier, and like I think he won the Heisman. I think he did win the Heisman. Did he set like the rushing record or something too? Like, did he have like the either career or single season NCAA rushing record or something like that at one point in time? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
He did. I think he did. And he still holds it at Wisconsin. But honestly, Jonathan Taylor was a way better running back. Jonathan Taylor was stupid good. My goodness. I mean, I've seen Melvin Gordon, James White, all these guys, Moneyball. There were so many good running backs at Wisconsin over the last like decade, 15 years. But Jonathan Taylor was unreal. Like, that was just a different level. That guy was way better than Ron Dane. He would have broken Ron Dane's record, but he went pro a year early.
Oh yeah. Who do you think the best Badger ever? Like, who's the best football player to come out of there?
Jonathan Taylor, unreal. He was a different level. I will never see a running back like that. That was his vision, his speed, his power. It was stupid. It was like watching somebody who was on a different level than everyone else. That guy was crazy. Russell Wilson, the 1 year he was there, was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But JT was like on freaking real, which when he led the league in rushing in the NFL like a year ago, it didn't surprise me. That guy was just playing a different level of sport than everyone in college. It was crazy. He carried the team. It was just like, all right.
Yeah. Do you know who Taylor Melhoff is? Have you ever heard that name before?
Of course.
Yeah. He's from Western Northeast South Dakota. He's from Aberdeen, South Dakota, where we're from. So
what about you guys know Joe Krabanoff?
Oh, yeah, he's from Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
My dad loves to watch college basketball, and so the fact that there's a South Dakota guy, he loved watching Joe Krabanoff.
Yeah.
Also, we got a guy. He's a recruit coming in next year, Thomas Heiberger from. I think he's in Sioux Falls at one of the schools. He's like a high 3-4 star recruit, and he's going to play for Wisconsin, and he's out of there.
Okay.
And then there's another guy. Actually, this is a crazy story. Small world. I'll be quick here, but Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah, he came from Pierre.
He was a really high recruit out of
Lincoln
Pierre.
Kinals?
Well, are you saying the one that just went to Ohio this past year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just know who he is because he's a big name.
Like from
Right.
Pierre.
Yeah, from Pierre. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
set all the records. He played baseball. Yeah. Okay. I was in freaking Laramie, Wyoming, and I'm at the hotel, and I come down in the lobby, and he's with the coaches for Wyoming football. This was before his recruiting blew up. He was like only a 3-star at that point, and he hadn't blown up that much. He had offers from like Washington, North Dakota State, South Dakota, Wyoming, Wisconsin.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like a Wisconsin fan. I'm like, holy crap, that's the guy we're trying to get. So I like went up to him and took a picture, and he was like amazed that anyone knew who he was.
Yeah.
And, like made and everything. And then his recruitment just blew up after that. But I was like, I met that guy at a random hotel at Hilton in Laramie, Wyoming.
That is funny. I remember, I didn't realize how big of, I knew just from the South Dakota football scene that he was good. I didn't realize he was getting that much national attention until this year when we were at the Arnold. Tanner, do you remember? It was the very last day. We go to the bathroom and it was done. The place was cleared out. And some guys asked where we're from. We said South Dakota, and they go, "We got your quarterback coming here this year.
Yeah.
He's the next big deal." And these guys were all hyped on it.
I was very disappointed in him. I was like, Ohio State, man, come on. I hate Ohio State.
You
It's like
couldn't have went anywhere else with that. What about Nebraska? What do you think of the Huskers? Are you
Oh, they're fine.
Okay. Last one. All the marbles here. Overrated or underrated? Eggo waffles.
Underrated. It's a good food. I don't get Eggo waffles because I think French toast sticks are way better. But I would say they're very high quality. I think the blueberry version with those tiny fake blueberries, it's good. You toast them real quick. You throw some syrup on it. Delicious. So I think a lot of this manufactured food is tremendous stuff. I don't personally get them too much, but I don't think they're overrated. They're classics. They've been around forever. That's the brand of waffle.
I've been on the chocolate Eggo waffle kick lately.
That's what my kids eat for breakfast. Yeah, those chocolate Eggo waffles.
That's what we get them because of our kids. But now I'm like, no, look, I'm eating those things now. They're good.
That's what I try to say that about Oreo. I'm like, I get them for the kids, and then I eat them all.
I bet I could eat like 10 of those Eggo waffles and not.
You
be
load
full.
some peanut butter on those things too, and you just go. It's nothing can slow you down.
A box of Eggo waffles is one serving in my opinion.
I bet I could eat a box. Like if I was really hungry and that's all I was eating, I could definitely eat a box of those and be like, I'm not even stuffed. Like it's just like, all right, I'm good.
Have you guys ever had those little $1 burritos you get in the frozen section?
Like the individually wrapped ones?
Yeah,
There's like four different, like there's like a purple one, a green one, and an orange one or whatever.
Yeah, we used to always buy the bag where you'd get, wouldn't there be like 8 in the bag? It was like $4.
Yeah.
You'd get 8 of them, and they're all pretty small. Oh man, just to
those
live off of
solid.
those things. Oh
yeah.
And it was how much, especially when you're in college, it's like how much effort do you want to put in? Do you just need something quick, you microwave it and eat it? Or if you want to get fancy, you put a Kraft single on there, maybe some sour cream and some hot sauce, then you're really living the life if you take those steps.
No, that's smart. I never even thought of that. I could do that. Those things are awesome. I'm like $1. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. I would say I don't know. I don't feel like they went all out on the quality filling because I'd be like, it's all these different flavors, and I swear to God, everyone is just full of refried beans.
They all taste exactly the same.
They all taste the same.
Yeah.
Like they're all just
colors.
refried beans, like as the 90% ingredient there or something.
That's crazy. You're so right though. They're all like one's like they all have different flavors, 4 of them, and then they taste the same. You're right.
I would like to have one of those too, though. They're also either it's the common problem with food like that. They're either like still cold or just like so freaking hot.
Destroy you.
Oh yeah, you gotta burn it. One more thing. I gotta end with this. This is very frustrating to me. Did you guys ever remember those Red Baron biscuit style scramble pizzas?
No.
What the hell happened to those things? I'm so pissed. I was like, I would pay hundreds of dollars to bring those back. And they got rid of them like a year or 2 years ago. They got rid of them around COVID. I think it was like a conspiracy.
I blame COVID.
Freaking live on those damn things. Look those things up. Red Baron biscuit style scrambles. It was the freaking best food in the dang world, and you can't even get them anymore. I can't find them anywhere. I literally was like, the bacon flavor one was like.
If anyone listening can find those, please send.
I see them here. I don't really remember these things.
These
But-
things were oh my gosh, I lived on these for like a decade and they got rid of. I'm like, why'd you get rid of them?
Yeah.
Best thing I've ever had in my life.
That is funny though. When I type it in, like the top comment on Google is a post from Reddit from 3 years ago, and it's titled "Red Baron Scrambles Bacon." These are really freaking good. No complaints. The Baron killed it. 10 out of 10. So someone
got
else.
rid of
Pete
them.
Rubish. Yeah.
It's posted
Why?
by Pete Rubish.
Why did we get rid of these?
Yeah.
It's very aggravating, guys. I literally was like addicted to these. Gosh dang. How to stop.
One last question before I forget. Is Big David still down there? Are you keeping Big David in line?
Oh,
We haven't
yeah.
seen him for a while.
Oh, he's here every day.
All right, good. Just got to check up on
he's
that
the
guy.
man. We love that guy.
I forgot about Big David.
There
It's
he
been a
is.
while.
I think he came back once like 6 months ago, and I wasn't around the gym at the time, so I didn't see him. But he's got his name on the board still. So whenever Big David, if he ever wants to come back, we'll make a spot for him.
Oh, he's gonna listen to this. He benched like 505 about a month ago.
Oh,
He's doing pretty
That's
well.
awesome.
He's like 270 still, benches 505.
his arms are so long too.
Yeah.
He's bench is his best lift. He hates squats like the rest of us, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, he's got a big bench. Damn.
That is.
He's the strongest bencher in our gym. He's a mainstay here.
Yeah. Speaking of good tan, Big David always had a good tan too.
Oh, Big David loves the Milano tan. I do too, though. David's a character. He's willing to take anything like that, so he's fine.
He's not afraid to back down.
No, he was like me back in the day. He
Yeah.
reminds me of myself in that way. I'm like,
Yeah.
practicing all up. He's part of the crew down here. We got a pretty fun crew.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. All right. So what is the new YouTube channel? If people where do people check that out at now? What's the handle?
Yeah, it's just Pete Rubish Fitness. So
Okay.
that's the one. That's it. Slowly chipping away with it. So
Awesome.
I love talking about food.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite like anytime we get an episode and we get going on food, it's always one of my favorite episodes.
Goes
You know,
off
this-
the rail. For just-
Yeah, that's the best. We do really appreciate you coming on again. This is a lot of fun. I think people really enjoy it. So keep doing what you're doing. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Always going back in time and all that. And thank you so much.
Thanks a
Yeah,
lot,
thanks,
Pete.
Pete.
Yes, sir. I'll see you guys.
Yep,
All right, see you later.
Cool beans.
There it is.
Yeah.
Pre-packaged, single serving cool beans straight out of the
Just for
microwave.
Pete. Yeah. Good stuff. I'm hungry. I'm not lying. That all made me hungry.
It was making me hungry too, thinking of all
What did I eat
these.
for supper tonight?
I made chili.
Oh yeah,
Hot chili
I had ham and mashed potatoes and corn.
Ooh.
But I kind of want to go eat crap now.
Yeah.
Like something about that episode really makes me want to go eat something really shitty.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really want like one of those, like a Red Baron pepperoni pizza.
I
think I could eat a full
I actually
one of
had
those
a
right
I
now.
had a Jack's pizza for lunch. To me,
Yeah.
Jack's is the
one of those floppy
is-
pieces of shit.
Oh, that they are top
No,
tier.
that's what
budget
that's
pizzas.
what Huck Finn and Callus.
They
always
love
said,
Jack's, don't they? Isn't
floppy
that
piece of
theirs?
shit. Yeah, I think they tried to get sponsored by Jack's for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with Pete, and I don't know if he influenced me the last time he was on, but I basically like frozen pizza better than generic carryout pizza. Like I like really hot, really good, like restaurant pizza best probably, but I frozen pizza is legit. Like I could eat.
Oh, I
frozen
could,
pizza.
I 100%. I mean, to me, it's just pizza in general. I could eat pizza
Right.
every single day and be good with it. But yeah, frozen pizza. I love frozen. I have a limit for myself of one frozen pizza a week. Otherwise, I could eat 4 or 5 a week, no problem.
Yeah, I might only have one a month, but I could eat frozen pizza like.
No,
I could have a few.
I've done one a week for probably the last.
Didn't that
8
used to be
years.
like your
Well,
wouldn't you have one after post squat?
I
or
used to
something like that,
always
wouldn't you?
do Friday nights. I get the Little Caesars after squats.
Oh,
you know,
Little Caesar squat. Yeah,
like getting the squat workout done was only half the battle. The other half was trying to get that Little Caesars pizza down.
see, my thing is if I have Little Caesars, I will feel like shit when I'm done. I like it. It tastes good. But if I have frozen pizza, I won't feel like shit when I get done.
Well, also the calorie level is on a whole nother level.
Right.
An entire Little Caesars pizza versus Jack's pizza is probably 3 to 4 times more calories.
But even DiGiorno, which seems a little more on that level, if I have quite a bit of DiGiorno, I do not feel like shit when I get. I mean, I don't feel like. I definitely feel like I just ate
that grease
kind of a
level
shitty food.
That it's
right.
I never felt good after them either, but
that's not what we do it for.
You don't do it to feel good.
You live in the moment. You're in. It feels great in the moment.
Yes, it does.
Like it feels awesome.
You can just feel yourself recovering from your workout.
There is nothing wrong with Little Caesars. I mean, it's cheap, disgusting.
I have not had one
awful
in
food,
so many years that I actually would like to have one again just to have some perspective on how that is.
The worst leftover carry-out pizza that possibly exists. Like it, I know I'm not. I don't need to say it again, but it turns into a different food altogether. Where it's like,
which it shouldn't, because usually pizza holds up pretty damn good out of all the leftovers. But
yeah, that's my rant on that. Is that Little Caesars, you gotta eat it when it's hot and ready. Also, it's just never hot and ready at ours anymore. Every time I go, it's like, oh yeah, pull forward, we'll bring it out to you, and I'm like, it's your shtick.
Yeah.
Dude, like I'm here to you. I hand you.
You're not
the
holding up your end
card,
of the bargain.
You
here.
hand me the pizza.
Yeah, there's a
hot, ready.
You can't even say it's an unwritten rule. This is literally a written rule that it's hot and ready, and they're not holding it up.
Last time I was there was probably maybe a month or two ago, and I swear I was like, oh yeah, can I get whatever this fucking, I love the names that they come up like the pepperoni deluxe triple whatever, like, and they're like, oh, that one be about 10-15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I didn't come here to wait 10-15 minutes. I came here because I'm going home quick, and like that's the thing. Like I'll pull out with a pizza, go home. I'm like, okay, give me the whatever, the regular pepperoni. Like, oh yeah, that one's about 5-10 minutes
that
out.
wasn't ready either, really.
No, and I'm like, now I'm getting pissed, and I'm like, okay, give me this and some crazy bread, because I had this coupon for crazy bread, and like, yeah, that crazy bread's in the oven now or whatever. And I'm like, fuck it, like you just
try again another time.
You just ruined my day here. Like you just that is not what you're for. So yeah, that's that. Black Friday, huh? Well,
yeah. All right, we should actually read some ads. We're kind of behind.
Oh God, good call.
This episode is brought to you by SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Bigmo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, he brings in everything you can imagine, from Swiss bayonets to Czech microscopes. And I'm actually doing a check to see if they have any Black Friday
advertised
this moment. I don't see
even if they
yet.
don't. I would say, please, for the love of God, get a loved one a pair of wool pants. I would if someone gets someone wool pants from SwissLink for Christmas and video records that, I will share that like that. I just want to see it, the wool pants.
But they might be like us. They might be more of a Black Friday traditionalist like us who don't do their deals until Black Friday. Yeah. So keep checking on them. Well,
the way God intended this commercialized, another commercialized holiday to be.
The way the religion wanted it to be. SwissLink.com is also home to the SwissLink Classic Wool Blankets and what Tanner talked about earlier, the SwissLink Classic Wool Pants. That's right, wool pants. Wear them around the clock. SwissLink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the rest. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at SwissLink.com by entering code MASS, M-A-S-S, at checkout. That's SwissLink.com, code MASS, save you 15%. Thank you, SwissLink.
Also, thank you to Build Fast Formula. Make sure to check them out this Black Friday holiday season. They've got their Vaso Blitz, Full Blitz, 80-20 protein, and new to their website is the Drink Hack, which we're going to put to the test come Crew Falls December to Remember event coming right around the corner, and their Glyco Hack. Check it all out. There again, I do not know. I got a banner streaming on this. Okay, let me tell you, it's streaming somewhat slow. So Black Friday Blitz, they've got up to 30% off site-wide. Black Friday splits. Okay, it's just going to keep telling me that same thing. Up to 30% off site-wide. So great deal there. And I don't know, maybe depending on if it's discount code or just already marked down, you could stack discount code Massenomics on top of it, and that'll save you an additional 10% off. So check them out, buildfastformula.com. Thank you, Build Fast.
Tanner, I have a sack. I have something over here for us.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then after that, maybe I should do supporting our sporting members.
Oh, actually, don't do that first. Do that first.
Oh, you do that? Okay. So supporting our supporting members is a relatively new segment of the podcast where we give back to our supporting members. You can become a supporting member if you go log on website, massenomics.com/join. Multiple levels of support that you can choose. We'd love to have you do it. If you've been a listener of this for a while, you like what we're doing, you think, hey, this is kind of cool, I'd love to see them continue to do this, we would love to have more supporting members. So please log on and consider doing that. It really is a part of what makes this podcast continue to go on. So please consider becoming a supporting member. That would be the gift to us this Christmas. That would really mean something, is to see more of you join up. And then part of what we do is give back each week with this segment. So this week, Big Dutch Matt, he got engaged. So
yeah, big move.
Congratulations on the impending funeral. I say that every time somebody gets married in the crew. Jeff, big Florida man, was on Channel 4 News for talking about overcoming money dysmorphia. Tune in to Channel 4 News to find out more from Big Jeff. Florida man overcomes money dysmorphia. Then we had the turkey pull going on, put on by the Strength Co. Big Grant and Big D putting that on in Southern California. They had their annual turkey pull event, which looked like it went awesome. So awesome that a few crew members were there. We saw Big David, Big one of the Davids, and Big Andrew were both there. Big David hit a deadlift PR of 430 pounds, and Big Andrew hit a deadlift PR of 495 pounds at the turkey pull.
495, 5 plates. That's a good one.
Did you get a turkey pull shirt?
Well,
Tommy?
I mean, you're kind of getting ahead of me here a little bit.
Oh, crap. Damn it. I hate to spoil anything, so let's pretend we'll edit that in post. Then we had Big Catfish. He won a Bigfoot calling competition.
Very noteworthy.
That was not a joke. That was not a joke. That's true.
I love that everyone has agreed on apparently what the correct call for Bigfoot is.
Kind of reminds me of like a pig calling competition where they go, I don't know, where they do that thing.
Kind of
that before,
but also one of the animals people can go listen to one of the animals and know what that is. The other one, we've just agreed that even though we haven't found this thing, we know what.
Or have we?
Well, that's to be decided, I guess.
Yeah. Big Jory, supporting member and Massenomics gym member, competed down this weekend in Crew Falls, a little place you might be familiar with. USAPL.
Yeah.
Meet down there at Big Jonah Leo's gym, a place that we're going to be holding part of our Crew Falls December to Remember meetup event in just a few short weeks. And Big Jory hit a new state bench record. I don't have numbers. I just have facts on Big Jory. Big George.
For sure over 100 pounds, we know, right?
It's definitely over a Hondu. There's at least several Hondu for George. Or congrats again. And then last, of course not least, check out one of the Big Davids. The UK Big David was on this week's episode of Unpaid and Underrated.
Wait, is the UK Big David the same as the British Big David, or were they different?
Or is he the English Big David?
Yeah,
and is
that's
there
what
an English
I
Big,
can't even. There might be three
I
of them.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't even know if he's also the same person as the other Big David that we talked about.
I'm not even totally lying in my head. I think partly I don't want to know, but they're all the same to me in my head. Even the British one, I assume the non-British ones are also British. So they're all just Big David. I
haven't listened to all of Big British David's episode yet, but what I gotta say, even though I know, like I believed that in my heart believed, I didn't think the British thing was a facade. But I've seen pictures of Big David and his videos and lifting, never heard of his voice before. And hearing him talk, I'm like totally thrown off by it. Even though I know that I'm like, yep, well, yeah, that guy's very British.
It's also totally hilarious to me that it never dawned on me that British Big David has a British accent. It just never
Right.
dawned on me that was
Very
a
British
possibility.
accent.
Yeah.
Yes. And I mentioned he's signed up for the Strongman event at the 2024 Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic. I can't wait to show him off to my family and local friends of like, hey, here's this British person that is my friend. Listen, now speak for them, David.
You'll be talking in like this
Dance
Austin Powers
monkey.
accent the whole time.
And I'm like, oh, it's just, I don't do this on purpose. It's just when I'm around people, you know, like you start to pick up on their tendencies. You know, David and I have a lot of foreign, interesting friends with different accents. Some of you might not understand. I have a lot of different foreign friends from multiple countries here.
So what David was at the turkey poll though?
That was
what's
United
his profile
States,
picture?
David.
What was his profile picture? In the
Michael
Discord?
Scott in Discord. It's a Michael
But I
Scott.
like to assume that now that I know one of the Davids has a British accent, the Michael Scott David probably also has a British accent, is how I like to think about it.
I cannot confirm that he does not.
Exactly.
It's not definitive.
Mm-hmm.
I also, I heard British David talk, but I'm not ruling out the small possibility that it is all deep fake because British David likes a good meme and a good joke.
Mm-hmm.
And
Just
it's
long
like
playing this one.
Tommy seen it? The Prestige.
Yeah, actually I have. Yes.
And what's his name? Who's the actor in there? Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Batman.
I know.
Batman plays the ultimate long con
Yes.
on that one because it was actually him and he and a twin.
Yeah, you do
doing
kind of
this
wonder
long
at a
con.
certain point in that movie, you're like, where the hell is this thing going here?
Yeah, and he
And
played
they get ya.
the serious long. Oh, spoiler alert, I suppose on the long con. But I'm still just wondering if British David is playing a really long con on a joke that's just going to be awesome.
Oh, like you think he's actually Christian Bale? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and that then all that's yet to be determined is he the man in the box or the man outside the box.
Yep. We'll just have to wait and see.
Wait and see. So thank you to our supporting members this week. Another riveting segment of supporting our supporting members.
I'm going to do this sack segment that you're
All
gonna be
right.
totally surprised by and have no idea what it is.
I haven't opened mine yet, though.
It
so.
came from our good friends at the Strength Co. I have just slit the package. I have not opened it yet.
Okay.
So if we go
I don't know what this looks like, actually.
If we go to open, there is a note with the signature Strength Co. card on it. There's a note. It says, Big Tommy, sorry it's not Curl Relaxer. Big D. It is not Curl Relaxer, but that's okay because it is a turkey poll. 2023 T.
Yeah.
That's actually what tells me that it's Thanksgiving time. I wouldn't know. But the fact that I got the shirt, now I know that it is
I
Thanksgiving.
only know holidays by what Strength Co.
That's all I look for now is I just wait for what I...
We don't need calendars. You just lay out your Strength Co.
I mark my holidays in what holiday Strength Co. shirt arrives at my door. And that is how I know what the holiday is.
That turkey's pulling. That
Yo,
turkey's
that
pulling. I haven't
turkey is
opened mine
pulling.
yet. I've been a little behind the 8 ball on that. But Black Friday keeps getting earlier and earlier. Am I right?
It does. It does keep scooting up. This Black Friday basically starts as soon as Halloween's done now.
Yes.
It does. We are the Black Friday traditionalists in the way that it actually we debated this. It felt like we were breaking our own rules by announcing Friday items.
Breaking the law.
Yeah. We're gonna get thrown in t-shirt jail because we announced our Black Friday items on our podcast tonight that doesn't actually air until after Black Friday. But yeah, Black Friday, man. By the time Black Friday rolls around, is there even things to look out for besides Massenomics?
You gotta say you gotta save a little something. You gotta where's the joy of Black Friday?
I'm waiting for something good, but I don't think there is. I think it's all been announced and done.
The way that the Pilgrims laid out Black Friday all those years ago,
the way they intended it.
The way our
I think they
Pilgrims
leave.
and then
Did they leave
subsequently
England?
Forefathers.
Did they leave England for that exact reason? They were scooting Black Friday up way too much, and they had to defect for those reasons.
That's right. That's also why the founding fathers form. They seceded eventually there because of it was there again the Black Friday issues.
Yeah, it was a whole month.
But it's called Black Friday. But yet it's all November long. This is an issue.
This is not December to Remember sales event. That's next month.
The name of the event is a day, but yet this is so many days long. Also, it's Black Friday. What is Saturday? Saturday is something, isn't it? Small Business Saturday?
Is that what? Yeah, that's what Saturday was, right?
And then Cyber Monday. Why does Sunday not get a day?
Sunday's a day of
Jesus.
rest. It's still
Jesus. Why does Sunday not get a day?
They haven't abandoned all their Christian roots. Sunday still is a day of rest. Even in the chaos of Black Friday.
Thank you, Lord, for leaving that one day safe.
No rest for us, though. I should say no rest for Tanner. You're going to be a packing machine.
It's going to be busy. I've been real busy, like other hobbies and stuff catching me up. And my wife, we were just even talking, my wife and I were talking about this weekend's itinerary of events. We got all this different family things. And and I said, oh, yeah, we could do this and this. And she's like, aren't you going to be really busy? And I'm like, oh, yeah, fuck. I'm going to be really fucking busy. It's like I actually completely forgot of how busy I'm going to be. I'm like, damn it. That's right.
It's totally sneaking up on me, too. Like I have, peek behind the curtain here. I have a lot of Black Friday work that has to happen tomorrow. And I know it'll get done, but that's basically, I'm going to be spending like 8 hours straight just getting all of the Black Friday marketing stuff, photos, products, emails, all of that ready tomorrow, which is hilarious because I've helped so many other companies do this over the past month. And now the most important one, our own company, I'm doing tomorrow, basically the day before.
Part of that, though, because we kind of have the formula.
We do, yes. I know exactly what we need to do. So it does make it easier.
And
but
you don't need to run things by,
Tomorrow will be a crunch day for sure. There's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah, when you own a cyber business or even a small business or a retail business of mostly any kind, Thanksgiving is a weird holiday weekend because it's like your most important weekend of the year for your business. But also, like, it is like an important family holiday, so it's really weird in that, don't you think? Like, it is an odd.
Yeah, there's a
lot.
Like, no,
I have to check my. I know it's Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and we're doing something else, but I need to check my phone.
I need to know what's going on.
Breaks on our website, it could cost us thousands of dollars.
Yes, that would be very, very bad. Yeah, thankfully that hasn't been the case, and I don't think this year will be any different. I hope not.
No, right. But it is just an odd dynamic there with this particular holiday.
It is.
That being said, it is a hugely important holiday for us, so we would love for any of you to support and purchase anything. We talked about their new drop items. We're also going to have $12 tees.
Yeah, there's some $12 tees in there.
So maybe about 10 different tees that are all only be $10 a piece while supplies last, and the free koozie and sticker pack with every order while supplies last. And then all the new items we talked about. I love this strong and silly koozie. This koozie is both strong and silly itself.
It is.
Much like all of us, strong and silly. These people at Massenomics, they just get me, I feel like.
They're on to something there.
They get me, strong and silly. That's just like, if I was to put a couple things that could pertain to me on a merchandise, these could be two of those things.
1 and 2 right there, strong and silly.
Those definitely could be. Sports update, I've still been playing noon ball.
Yeah, how's that going?
Noon ball today. It's really fun. Noon ball is one of my new passions. I'm definitely a noon ball guy. I've been hitting once or twice a week, so I'd say like 1.5 times per week.
Are you ever lifting on the same day as noon ball, or are those not?
No.
Okay.
I do those on my off lifting days, and that's the only reason I don't do noon ball more is because it falls on my lifting time slot.
Oh, do guys actually play every single day?
Yes.
Oh, they do. Wow.
Yes, there's actually debate whether there's going to be a game tomorrow.
Wow.
And the day before Thanksgiving, and there's some days there'll be 15 people, and some days there'll be 6. So if it's not 5-on-5, it's a half court game.
Yeah.
And there's pros and cons to both. I like the exercise, so the full court's kind of nice. But
do you feel like your court vision is enhancing by the day?
It is.
Is it actually?
It absolutely is. That's my strongest. That's what I'm best at. Is probably actually the that's what I'm best at, and it is getting better. And I see the game pretty well. If I was to toot my own horn, what I'm not good at is I have not magically become a better shooter over the years. I know my range.
It did just improve in the last.
I mean,
month
I guess I made a couple threes today, but it's not what I do. I only shoot outside shots if I am wide open, and where it's like, well, it's embarrassing if I don't take this shot.
Yeah.
That's the only time I take those shots. But I haven't become a better shooter. I haven't really become a significantly better ball handler. If I'm pressured highly on the ball, I could get lucky or I could struggle. You know, like that's not a strong suit of mine. Absolutely. But rebounding, I whip almost all their asses in rebounding.
Yeah. Okay.
I
so
am just a far better
obviously
rebounder I have not played a day when I'm not the best rebounder.
Yeah. And so obviously you're the strongest person there. As far as height goes, how many people there are taller than you?
There's some days there might be like 2 people my height, you know, that are like 6'2" to 6'4". There's a couple guys around that might be like 6'5", 6'6", but they're not all, you know, it's usually on average I'm the second tallest guy there, you know,
so that helps
so I'm
too.
definitely one of the taller ones, and I'm always the biggest guy, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
always the most willing to
Push
get a
people around
rebound.
little.
Yeah, like to use that a little bit. And it's like, it's really easy because a lot of them are not physically.
Yeah, it's just nothing.
They're not
to push.
physical.
Yeah.
Right. You know, they're just not physical. And a lot of the people, even the younger guys, they get out of shape. A lot of them get out of shape too, and then they just dog it. And then an out of shape person is very easy to box out and stuff like that. But so I'm saying my positives. I want to also emphasize my negatives. Still a very not good shooter. Yeah, I shoot a decent percentage because I choose to shoot high percentage shots. And then I am not a good ball handler still.
Yeah, those are the tough ones though.
But it is fun, a lot of fun on noon ball. But my bigger thing is I'm pretty much what do I say? I'm kind of a record guy. I'm kind of a noon ball guy. Now I'm kind of a mechanic guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of a mechanic guy.
Have we ever talked about on the podcast that you're a new truck guy too? And when we say truck guy,
we didn't. Yeah,
I don't think we have. I forget because we talked about it in person so much,
right?
That I don't think we brought it up.
I'm a big
a new old truck owner.
Yeah, I'm a big vintage truck guy. Actually, it's my wife's pickup. We got a 1969 Chevy C10. It's a half-ton 2-wheel drive pickup, moderately restored. You know, it's not a Barrett Jackson auction pickup, but it's a fairly nice pickup for any gearheads out there things you might want to know. Well, it's a C10, so it's a half-ton 2-wheel drive. It's the long box, and it's got a 350 small block Chevy in it, which is a pretty well-liked V8 in those
Automatic,
Chevys,
you said, right?
Yeah, it's got an automatic 700R 4-speed. It's got the overdrive automatic in it. And what else do people want to know? It's got I don't know. That's kind of the main things that I think people are curious about.
What else you told me about it, but I feel like those are the important specs
you
had mentioned.
What's the carb? It starts with an E. Edelbrock, like 4 something. I don't know much about the carb. I actually haven't paid attention to that, to tell you the honest to God truth. But so we really like the pickup. It's a 1969, which is nice.
Very nice.
One of my favorite things is we were able to get historic plates. So we actually have 1969 South Dakota plates on it. You know, you can either get the orange and black.
This is the concept I didn't understand. They're not.
Yeah.
And I think all states probably have historic plates for cars that are over a certain age that you go buy the actual plates. But these are actual plates from 1969.
We bought them on eBay. They're 1969. As long as they're the model, the year of your vehicle, and it's over like 30 years old, whatever it is, you can choose to have year specific plates, as long as they meet their criteria of not being a number someone else has in a rotation, and they have to be nice quality. They can't be rusted out. You have to take pictures and present them to them and all that stuff. So yeah, they're actually 1969 plates, and they have a really cool like stamped Mount Rushmore into the plates and stuff. So they look really cool on the pickup, I think. And why I say I'm kind of a mechanic, this is mostly this is not the original 350 that's in it. It's not the original transmission. It was a manual. It's my wife's pickup. It was automatic transmission was a requirement. You know, in the this is kind of exactly fit into what I wanted. You know, it's 69 to 72 is the front end, the grill that I really like on those. I like the long box. I like the C10. I don't want four-wheel drive. I like the half ton. I don't need it to be bigger than that. But I would have chose a manual transmission probably, but she wanted automatic. So I'm like, I can make that that concession on that without a problem.
Yeah.
But I already had issues.
Oh,
and
really?
I say this, I'm not out of frustration, just out of like, I knew that this is part of the charm, I suppose, of owning this is like, you have to maintain it, you know, right. Tinkering with it. And this is not a vehicle that is essential to our daily travel. So, you know, it sits in our third stall now. We made some room and it's in there. But my wife was out doing errands with it and she pulled over and called me and shut it off right away because it was smoking from underneath the dash somewhere. Well, she called me in a panic almost, like, oh, it's smoking. And I'm like, well, what's smoking?
Yeah,
what kind of smoke? And what is
this.
it? What is it? And she was trying to explain it. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I gotta just come check it out. So I was like, just pull over, wait there. I'll be there. And it was, the second I opened the door, you can smell it's very like electrical, you know, something. It wasn't like, there wasn't smoke billowing out from the engine. Yeah. It's not like it was,
which would have been not ideal to see that.
Right. It was something from inside the cab. So I'm like, I just got to see what's going on. So I just turned it on quick and immediately some wiring, presumably underneath is smoking and melting and stuff. So I shut it off right away and got it home. And over the last week, I bought like the 1969 Chevrolet shop manual. So I've got the manual that the mechanics look at. I bought a printed out the wiring schematic for this pickup.
I like to picture that the wiring schematic for that pickup is like 4 wires, just like it's a really
that's
crude
what
drawing.
you would think. Yeah. And by no means does this compare to a new vehicle, but you honestly would, if I showed you this, you'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, how does this
like
thing
there
have
is
that many
so
wires?
many yes,
Really?
you would say, how does that have so many wires? There is, and there again, not compared to a newer vehicle, of course, because it has so many less things. But that's the shocking part. How does it have so many wires with so few electronics in it? There is so many wires, and I'm not a mechanic by any means. I like to think that I'm capable of doing things, but auto mechanic is not something I've ever really, I've never really delved into that to any level. Like I don't change the oil in my own vehicles anymore. I don't think a lot of people do that. Right? I could, yeah, but I do in this. Like I already did. Like this vehicle, that's my thing now. That I've kind of decided. I'm like, no, I want to know how to do everything on this thing, and like anything we do. So I actually troubleshot, and this is no awesome feat, but me not doing a lot of mechanic work, this took me some work. I troubleshot this, figured out it was wiring behind the ignition. The actual key, the ignition that it goes to. There's about 9 wires, just the ignition in this. There's 9 wires that go into that. So I have to disassemble the ignition, take it apart, take apart the pigtail, which is what all the wires actually go into. And I find 2 wires basically melted together on this. And I don't know right away if it's because there's a short somewhere else in the circuit that caused this to melt here, or if the wires actually like, touched right at this ignition, or if there's a problem with the actual
do cars that old, do they have fuses? Is that a thing back then?
Yeah, that like this has glass tube fuses.
Yeah.
Newer cars have the pull 2-prong fuses, and some people retrofit they used to have this, but this has the original fuse box, so it's actually glass tube fuses. They're about that long, and they're either like 10, 15, 20, and you pull those, but did not pop a fuse, so it must have, it is, some of these wires do go through the fuse box, but it did not pop a fuse in this case. But so I had to take the ignition apart and, trace to see what all the wires, and I got the schematic and all that stuff figured out. I eventually just had to buy a new pigtail and basically cut the old wires, splice it to this new pigtail, and buy a new ignition
piece. Could you get this pigtail
peach.
at just the local auto parts store?
Yeah, I had to order it. It's not,
did.
and same with the ignition itself. I had to order both of them.
And what did those parts cost?
Nothing.
Yeah.
The pigtail was not nothing, but like the pigtail was $15 and the ignition was $35.
All right. See, and that's I never know. Is it old GM stuff? Is it just like, well, no, that costs nothing? Or is it now that it's so old that now it's expensive again? That's why I wasn't sure there.
No, I think most of it's pretty reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's repop, it's reproduction stuff.
Yeah.
So some people get a boner over not, things being original, and I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I just, but it's the parts are not expensive. The time for me is a lot because I don't know almost nothing. Do I just know what I'm doing? I have to learn everything that I do. Like even if I'm gonna solder wires, I don't just know. I'm not just like, oh yeah, I solder wires all the time. Let me
just plug it in and let's go.
Everything I have to learn how to do it. And what I would say, most of the stuff I don't think is that hard, but you just don't know how to do it. It's not
almost zero. It's
like
you're second guessing yourself.
Yeah, my 2013 pickup, I couldn't do shit on it. Like I literally, I opened the hood and I'm like, can't even tell you I can't identify most of what this is. And like on the 69 Chevy, I can, along with the help of a reference, be like, okay, I can kind of almost walk you through almost exactly what everything is because you can see it. And then if I don't know, you can kind of look it up and be like, okay, that makes sense. And I see where the lines go for that. And, you can just trace everything. There's not, you open it up, you're like, oh, it seems really empty in here. You just can see every part.
Why did they build so much extra room in here?
Right. Right. So I'm kind of a really shitty one, but kind of a mechanic guy now. So anyways, I fixed that ignition, got it all put together. Works great. And I only got really pissed a couple of times in that process, which is good for me.
Was this process, as far as the actual time you spent working on the truck, was this many hours, or like how long are we talking here?
I mean, it was a few hours working on it, but I spent way more time just
looking stuff up, getting parts.
Just figuring out what I even should be what do I think is, I got to identify the problem here. And that took a while. And then once I thought I knew what it was, and then it's like, is that really the problem? Where do these wires go? What do you fix in this situation? And just it was way more time trying to figure out, not actually
diagnosing what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But if someone's that's your experience on that, you probably know right away.
Yes.
The whole process would have taken 1/10 the time for an experienced, even just an experienced at-home mechanic, which I am not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool though.
Yeah.
I know
my mechanic skills have just gone. They're so damn low.
Would you say they're growing exponentially?
They're growing exponentially because it's just really low hanging.
Starting from
right
one,
now.
So
right. It's really low hanging fruit.
And we did talk about this. You said as far as projects planned, really the only thing you had planned for it was sound system, maybe.
That's a big thing. So things that don't work in it, the radio. It's got the original radio. It's not working. It's one of those. I'm just really finding out a lot of stuff is wiring. There's so much wiring heavy involved in these projects. It's just, you have to know that almost to do anything, which is probably a very, very apparent statement for anyone that knows shit about this. But for me, it's kind of a revelation because I just hadn't thought about it in that way so much.
I wouldn't have either. I just...
Right.
You're like, because there's not power windows or power locks or anything. So it's like, well, what's all this electricity needed for?
Right. So just minor things like I'm replacing little parts that just are kind of like rear view mirror, the original rear view mirror, and it's just kind of shitty, and just replacing little odds and ends things like that. The heater, here's one that's going to definitely be some troubleshooting for me. This one doesn't have AC. That was an option. You could get it, doesn't it? But it's got a heater, of course, and it's not pumping out the hot air, so it could be the thermostat could be bad. That's one of the things. The actual lines, because it's just it's the engine, the antifreeze, the coolant that pumps through basically the heater box, and those lines get really plugged sometimes, so it might not be going through there right, or something. I don't know, maybe I don't really know on that. I haven't looked into it, but even just that, I'm like, well, this could be like 5 different things from my little bit of
and if you're experienced at all, you can probably narrow those down
so
fast.
You'd be like, and I just don't have, and all this stuff I could have someone else do it too, but my thing is I kind of like doing it, and then I just know there's only so many things that can go wrong on it, And if I've done it once, then the next time I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. You know, like I just want to know how to do that. So if it comes up again.
Yeah. No,
and I do think there again, that's part of the charm of owning something like this, I think, is you have
especially something that is relatively accessible like that, where it's not.
Oh, if this was my pickup now, I wouldn't be doing, you know, I'd be like, I can't even fucking figure out how to get the dash apart.
I don't need
like,
to
I can't
waste
even
my time
get to
with
those
this.
pieces.
And it's like, oh, I did this wrong, and I actually had caused more damage than it was originally had in the first place.
Yes. I was a satisfying feeling when I put it all back together. I turned the key for the first time, and I'm like, fucking works. Just
am I a mechanic now?
That's what I told him. I was like, that's been kind of the running joke in the house with Mary and I, is just like, yeah, I'm like a mechanic now. I could just fix anything, and which is a giant joke because of course that's not.
But it's funny because there used to be these tropes, these stereotypes, these things way back in the day of like, I feel like you'd see it on 90s TV shows of just the dad working on his car out in the garage, and that is slowly just dying out more and more. Like that doesn't really exist.
You can't. Because
exactly, you can't.
If you don't have this historic vehicle that you drive, you can't you can't do that. Like what?
But that used to be such a thing, and it's not. Like they don't even write shows with that being a thing anymore.
Right.
You know, you think back to old school Will Ferrell's characters, and constantly working on, what do you have, a Trans Am or something like that? Yeah, constantly working on it. Even that's not even a thing anymore.
I kind of get I get the appeal of it too. I mean, it is fun. There is something about sitting in, we have a nice heated garage and some luxury there, that it makes it nice. But there is something, I spent a couple of fairly long nights on that. I'm like, well, this is kind of fun. I like just messing with it is kind of fun. I get where someone could go down that rabbit hole as a pretty intriguing hobby. There again, I can't emphasize enough that I still don't have any fucking clue what I'm doing, but it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to make myself sound any cooler than I am not here, because I am not cool in any way about this, but it is fun. I think for my little
6
bit
months
of,
from now, you're going to come on the podcast and you'll have like a Chevy hat on and a.
I've watched so many YouTube videos that about how to and people doing different stuff, and I go down this rabbit hole, and eventually I'm like, I think I could, I'll go through phases where I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Or I'll be like, oh, that looks really tough. I don't really know how you do that. And I've watched so many videos and got to full crate engine.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I think I could do that. And I actually do. It would,
I could take an engine out. I could put a new one in.
That's what I can. And on this, I'll watch I'll watch a few videos of it. I'm like, I kind of get what's going on here. And once you start to know what all the individual parts are, it's just like, well, yeah, it's just in that. And I want to stress again, in a vehicle like this, not in anything like almost any
high performance modern sports car.
And there again, when I say that's maybe something I could do, they do it in a day. Two experts do it in a day. I'm talking about I got nothing but time to do this. This could be a winter project where I have it apart for 5 months. Yeah.
Call in a guy a time or two if I need some
That
help.
would be what I do. I'm lucky to have some references, some people that I'm like, yeah, come over, check it out, see what you think if this is what I should be doing the next few steps, and then have them come back, a couple weeks later and be like, now what do you think?
Yeah, check my work for me. Double check this for me. Yeah.
That's what it would
Double
be like.
check my month worth of work. You can do it in probably 10 minutes if you know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. So that's how I am kind of approaching that. So I probably talked about it way too long, but that's kind of my thing I'm excited about lately.
Yeah, you're just a big truck guy now.
Really big truck guy. Really big truck guy. I've had this one that I've done 1 or 2 projects on. So
that's where it starts. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. It sounds pretty sweet though. It's definitely a fun. It's fun to drive around in, I would say.
Yeah. Does it make a little noise?
It makes a little noise. It's pretty well. It's got dual exhaust and it's fairly not a lot of muffler action underneath of that thing. So it's not obnoxiously loud or anything like that. But it does sound really good.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm kind of a hot rodding guy, I go around.
Yeah. just you wait until 5:30 to drive through the neighborhood.
No joke.
Right?
It would be a hell of a shitty whipper.
Oh,
the
yeah.
two-wheel drive.
No weight in the back.
truck.
Yeah.
No, we
You
could
can just let that thing go.
What I'd like to do is when we get the Odie Ice Arena, actually Big Alec mentioned this. He's like, man, you should get in there and just whip some serious shitties. And I'm like, that would be fun.
You could tear it up.
Better not do it because I don't want to suffer the consequences and we might want to be in there again for something, but that would be cool.
Something to think about.
Was this OLED follow-up or?
This is TV follow-up. I just got to say, so this isn't exciting as a truck. I'll get out in front of this right now, but I finally got my new TV.
Have you become a TV repairman? Is that
no? I've not become a TV
mechanic.
My TV, in fact, I'm so not a TV repairman that the second this thing breaks, I just go right to Costco and say, "You take this. This is not my problem." One of the benefits of Costco, you know. Yeah. But man, I just got to say, okay, so the TV I got, as far as TVs go, it is considered a mid-range TV. You know, you can spend.
Remind me, it wasn't OLED, or
it is not OLED. I did not get OLED because I wanted to go 75 inches. The very cheapest 75-inch OLED I could find was like 18 or 1900, and I just, in my head, I was not quite ready to go there yet. So I went with a Sony. I believe it was the Sony X90L. I believe is what it was, 75-inch, and yeah, as far as TVs go, this is a mid-range TV. I will say my whole life I've only bought budget TVs. I'd say TVs under $700 for the most part, cheap TVs, which are fine. I mean, even cheap TVs now are pretty damn good compared to what I think the first TV I bought when I was in college. And I've always been happy with that. Never had a problem with it. But I thought, okay, you know what? I'll splurge on this one a little bit. And still, it was not that much money in the scheme of things. But getting this thing hooked up, I really do honestly feel like I'm kind of watching TV for the first time in my life, man. It is.
So it feels way to, like, do you have you have another TV then in your house, like that's not this newer?
Yeah, I got one. I got one upstairs, like a cheaper
like in
Vizio.
comparison to those two, can you tell?
Oh my god!
Giant
And
difference?
the difference is, people always say like, "Well, what's the difference?" The difference really, like, the colors are better. Yes, TVs get better. They have a broader range of colors, more accurate colors, things like that. But really, the thing that really takes you back is the HDR, like the range, the high dynamic range, the way it can display the darkest darks and the brightest brights. Like, the first thing we watched, basically, we were firing up. It was like a TV show or a movie or something. And in the beginning, there's these spotlights going by. In the dark room, when the spotlight goes across, you almost go, like it almost makes you go like,
feels
that's
like
too bright on my eyes.
Is actually like
yes,
going by.
It is shocking. So then, just out of like, okay, what's really, because I was not expecting that at all. I'm like, what's really going on here? Even like YouTube is not, it's the video is so compressed, it's not, the highest quality. But even if on an HDR TV, you go to YouTube and you go to, like, if you type in HDR videos and you go to some of this stuff that specifically is in 4K, or some of it's even more, but 4K, and it is shot with HDR in mind, there are scenes where you think that looks like that is coming out of the screen right now. That actually looks like it's in real life. Someone has the bright light shining on it. So this is really, like, even my wife was like, man, this is really cool. We got to start watching movies down here. And for the first time in my life, I'm like, I feel like I need to be a movie guy all of a sudden. There's ground I got to cover here.
So being a TV guy could subsequently make you a movie guy.
I think so, for sure.
Movies is probably what takes better advantage of it than a lot of shows. It is,
especially because then you start looking, you're like, oh, okay, if I really want to take full advantage of this, I got to buy a Blu-ray player, but not just any Blu-ray player. I got to get a good Blu-ray player. And then it's like, I got to get 4K Blu-rays now. Oh, the Oppenheimer one just came out and said, looking at this, I'm like,
Blu-ray is always going to be better than something streamed across.
The bit rate, just the amount of data they can move through it is so much more on a physical disc. But then I'm like, wait, do I really want to go this rabbit hole of buying all of this shit? Because I also don't like doing that much either.
Right,
so,
to be determined. Then you can get your DVD collection case back out.
Didn't we leave that in the early 2000s, having to buy all the DVDs? So I'm not sure if I'll go down that.
Your crown achievement of your house is your.
Oh yeah, and if I had those, they would be in the closet. I don't want to have 1,000 DVDs sitting out, but I'm not sure if I'll go down that road yet. But as of right now, I am thoroughly impressed. I even had to go back and watch our most recent Massenomics video, the best $100 I ever spent. And like, this looks so damn good on here. It looks even better than. It looks even better than it looks on my computer when I edit it, which makes sense. The computer monitor, while it is not a cheap monitor, it is significantly cheaper than what that TV was. And
but aren't computer monitors really good? Like, for gaming, aren't computer monitors usually better than televisions? Or something?
It depends, because a lot of, especially with gaming, and see, I don't really game. Actually, this is another thing I want.
Isn't it a speed thing?
It's
almost?
It's a response time. So there's
the
input lag and then refresh rates, and so a lot of monitors, because they're so much smaller, have better response times. Things like that. This TV, though, being that it is slightly above the cheapest ones.
Yeah,
it is, as you can look up like this site, it's like ratings.com, and they're kind of the de facto TV review company now. And so they give you all of the data on all these different things. And yeah, as far as video gaming go, like, this is as good as almost any TVs you get for the video gaming side of things. So I don't know, might start playing some more games here again, see how that goes, until I realize I'm busy with life again, and then
when could I play this game?
Ryan always likes to ask me. He was here this past week. He's like, "Oh, so you've been gaming lately?" I'm like, "Since we moved to Sioux Falls a year ago, I've turned my Xbox on twice. There was like a 2-day stretch where I felt like I was bored and had nothing going on. Turned it on 2 nights in a row. Never again." So yeah, in the last 365 days, I've gamed twice for about an hour each time.
Well, we could come Christmas time, we might become an Xbox household. We might have a modern gaming system again. So
yeah, that's what I'm on.
I could get some game that you have and never log on and play it with you.
I know. It's I don't play this thing. I don't play online games. So that's I have buddies that are always playing online games that I could hop on with anytime. But that's also not my idea of fun. Is an online game. Like, my gaming lately or when I bought my Xbox, consisted of only racing games, and then now I want to play. There's this one game called Elden Ring, and that's more of an offline game. But I think I might fire that one up and give it a go. We'll see here.
Okay, I think we got the Xbox. Not the less significant
the
Xbox.
Digital one. Yeah, the Series S.
Yes. That, I think that's what we have.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll see what Santa does.
Yes.
But
and so that's what I actually really want to plug this into the TV and be like, does this make video games even that much crazier too? Because
probably
half of the fun is just, it looks so damn good.
Right. Especially in like a racing simulator game. Like, that's part of the cool part. Just like, how real does this look? Like,
it starts to do that. And just all the things, just the scenes, you're like, wow, this stuff looks really awesome. But that is, for TV shows and movies, I feel like I've just missed out on an entire world of this stuff over the last, but also it has changed a lot in the last 10 years, but I do feel like I have missed out on a lot lately, knowing been sitting on the sidelines with all this crazy shit going on that I haven't been aware of.
Well, with everything going on, did you think would there be any sweet Black Friday deals on those? Should you have waited for Black Friday? Well,
this was technically a Black Friday deal again, because they go all month long. It was So the TV was I don't know. Both Best Buy and Costco. So the TV was $1,500. Both of them had it listed at $2,000.
Yeah.
Marked down to $1,500. And I don't know if that was like, well, retail says $2,000 and it's ever actually $2,000, but they both did say $500 off. Buy it from Costco. You get a 3-year warranty at Costco, and then they add on 2 more additional years. Sony comes with like 15 movie credits, 2 years of their streaming service. So you get some movies in there too. So, it sweetens the pot a little bit. Nothing crazy though.
You almost can't afford not to. It sounds like you can't afford
I started crunching the numbers. I got pen to paper, and I really realized that I would be an idiot.
Like, honey, we literally cannot afford to go another day without buying this.
A Blu-ray could cost $30. 15 of those, I mean, that is like $450 technically that they just gave us there. Streaming service, I don't even know.
They're essentially paying us to have this brand new television.
It's kind of free and paid for. Yeah. We just got to go pick it up.
It'd be like, it's right here. It's all in black and white. I put the pen to paper on this one. It is. We are actually insane to not do this. Just like you'd be insane not to sign up for Juggernaut AI. If you're into lifting and training, something we talk about on occasion on this podcast, not all that often, certainly not for about the last 30 minutes. But if you are into training, getting stronger, that's your bag, baby. Check out Juggernaut AI. You can sign up for a monthly subscription. That's $35 a month. Here's the kicker, though. Use discount code Massenomics. Save 10% off of that. Makes it, just about $30 a month. Or you can sign up for a yearly subscription, save even more. Still use discount code Massenomics. Either way, if you're interested in just checking out and trying it, you can get a 2-week free trial for the totally individualized powerlifting and power building training plans for you. The programs adjust to your feedback. There's over 300 detailed exercise technique videos to go along with it if you need some help on what you're supposed to be doing there. So check them out at juggernautai.app. Thank you, Juggernaut.
And today's episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. And I should have looked ahead a time.
Oh, yeah. What do they got going on?
Yeah, they got it. I'm sure they have something going on. Okay, so right away on their website, their Black Friday sale is live now. $40 off all bars. No code necessary.
That's legit.
Someone should lock them up. Deals like that.
I wonder if I should need a bar.
Yeah, Tanner, you should be looking through here. That's an over 10% savings on a lot of these bars.
Yeah.
And actually on a lot of these bars, that's like a damn near 15% savings or more.
Yeah, the original Texas Power Bar.
$255.
Yeah, $250.
That's
is
just
a freaking
cheap, isn't
steal. That is a good deal for a really nice bar.
$55.
That's a bare steal, but still, like.
But if you're just looking for the black zinc
you can go the black zinc one for $265.
That's $10 more.
That's criminally cheap.
That is really cheap. Wow.
So for a really good bar.
It is one of our all-time favorite bars that we would easily recommend to anyone. That $265. What are you waiting for? Take advantage of that. Man, this ad is just writing itself. But Texas Power Bars,
get the Texas Deadlift Bar for $305.
Also a great deal. And while we're on that topic of just shopping online here, what's the new one? The 29 millimeter is going for $275. Wow. That is really cheap for that new one too.
That is a good deal. That just is legitimately a great deal. You'd be a horse's asshole not to buy at least one of these bars. You'd be a stupid horse's
Tanner,
asshole.
You said it, not me. But I do wholeheartedly agree that is an incredible deal. If you are in the market for a Texas Power Bar, there is no time like right now to take advantage of these. I have no idea how long this sale is going. So if you're hearing this, you better get on there right away and hopefully take advantage of those. But yeah, Texas Power Bars, they have got it going on this Black Friday. Get there, go buy one. TexasPowerBars.com.
Like there's a picture of Basement Brandon here in the
I see that.
29 millimeter. I know that guy. There's a couple pictures in his gym. Is there any background Massenomics stuff in any of these? That's what I'd like to see there. All right, Texas Power Bars, good shit. Good shit. Do we have anything else this episode that we need to
think?
Did we run it all down?
I think we ran it all down. Yeah, please go buy our stuff.
Yeah, biggest time of the year for us. Support us any way possible. Order thrice, order twice, order thrice.
Order 4 times. We don't have a limit to the number of times.
There's no limit. You can order 5 times. Get crazy. Order 6 times.
We won't
do you think
stop
someone could order 7 times?
No, I don't think anyone could. Someone prove me wrong. I don't think anyone could do it.
I bet nobody could order 7 times from us over the weekend.
Someone just really messes with us and they just order 1 item every day for a month. Just really throw us off.
Hey, I'll
pack those with love.
I won't be complaining. That's it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Kicking
new videos weekly.
Up.
Got some fun
videos
things.
Weekly.
Got some fun ones coming up before the end of the year here.
Yep, Crew Falls December to Remember coming up soon. If you're a fairly new supporting member, we got a lot of people from the area that became recent supporting members. Log on to our site and you can sign up for the Crew Falls December to Remember meetup event. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You're basically just RSVPing. I guess it only costs you whatever you want to eat and drink during the festivities.
Well, technically, you should be a supporting member to get in. That is,
you got to be a supporting member, I guess. So, yeah, for all of you supporting members, that's you pre-qualifier there. And then stay tuned for everything else we got coming. Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but please just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.